So now we're all here. I'm sure Andy can remember and recall and give us a rundown of
Everything.
all the fantastic detail. Because, like you say, I think although there was some bad run, I think you still covered a lot of ground though.
Yes, we spoke to every man and his dog in asylum, and pretty much got
Apart from the
nothing,
loony one.
apart from the lunatic, because we didn't really get anything from him anyway.
Well, you did speak to him though.
We did. I thought we got a lot from him. Did we play a different game?
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, because he repeated what the song was, didn't he? So
and he mentioned the devil.
The devil, and so we suspected that Nurse Evans was the guy who was controlling Alexander. So we went. Once we left the asylum, we went to find Mark Evans at the pub where he's been staying. But he'd gone out for a walk.
An evening stroll.
Yeah. So when he'd gone out for an evening stroll, we couldn't find him. So we got did we get the car back to Hereford?
We missed the train and we had to stay in a hotel, and you had a bad dream.
That's it, yeah.
And shit the bed.
Yeah. Again, it's a common occurrence.
Also, the crazy guy, I can't remember his name.
Halliwell.
No,
Harrywell.
Harrywell.
Jerry Harrywell.
He mentioned the devil. He read some of the stuff. He spoke some of the stuff what we've read or we know about, and he mentioned that the teacher, or I'm the teacher, but I'm thinking he isn't the teacher. The person who's overheard or who's been talking to him
is next door
is the teacher. So it's either the nurse or it could be crazy guy Alexander might be the teacher.
Yeah.
So I suppose we did find out quite a bit,
and there were Edwards or Malcolm Quarry, sort of two parties.
Yeah.
Are you with Edwards or with Quarry? And it would sort of seem to be sort of, I don't know, conflicting parties, isn't it? Maybe, or two other parties involved.
And then we went home.
You did,
and went to see Dr. Trollope, who was a waste of space.
Yeah,
and you slipped on the ice.
Oh yeah, slipped on the ice because somebody. You think somebody was following us, but somebody had been to my apartment and spoke to my next door neighbours.
Yeah,
inquiring after me, pretending to be a taxi driver, or he was a taxi driver. No, he wasn't.
I saw him across the street, and he sort of shot into an alleyway. Didn't he? Tall, black coat.
Possibility it's the same guy, probably is. And then the private investigator, what we hired before we went to the asylum, has got an address of Delia Hartson.
Yes, but she's
or an older. Is it a mother's address?
Yeah, it's a mother's address. Yeah.
So we've got that to chase up. I think that's it, really, isn't it?
Yeah. That. Of course, you had. Well, I think you've already mentioned it. You had your interesting talk with Dr. Trollope, didn't you?
No, it wasn't interesting. It was a waste of time. I basically repeated what was in the letter of introduction, and then he basically fobbed us off.
Yeah, pretty much.
He provided with tea.
So I don't know.
Is that where we?
Is
that
afternoon,
the exact point
morning.
we left it? It is. Yes. So it is
lunchtime.
It is. It's about 1:45. 1:45 in the afternoon of November the 1st, which is, what day is that? What day is it? It is a Tuesday.
Should we go to the address provided by the private eye, or do people want to do something else? Because I'm not sure what else we can do.
There's not much else we can do. So I think
say we haven't got a lot. Yeah, even though a lot of people talked at us, we haven't got many leads left. I don't think.
No.
Oh, I can't remember if I said this, but when the private eye gives me that information of the address, I'd give him those names of.
Hello, Ange.
What are the names?
Edwards and
Edwards and the other guy.
Blake.
Corey.
Yeah, possible friends
Malcolm
of
Corey.
Alexander. See if he can find any name,
Yeah.
anybody named by those names. He'll fail on the Edwards most likely, but the other one he might be able to get.
Do we get some luck?
Oh yeah, D10 luck.
Yes, you can do your luck check, can't you?
I got 10 last time. This is
91. Look at that. Get those 90s in now.
Yeah, get rid of them now. It's time to get rid of them.
Finally.
Come on.
Where are we? Oh my! I'm on 22 luck.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Rolls a 1.
47.
Critical. I'll get critical success. Oh no, 96.
96.
It's feeling sorry for me, isn't it?
30. I'm up to 36 points of luck.
7 points. Better than nothing. 29 luck. Have it.
Clearly, I am Lucky McLuck of our party.
Lucky I can't even pronounce.
Swanning around on 47.
So let's go to Delia Hartson's address.
I've actually moved out like 5 years ago.
Okay.
Are we taking shotguns?
Well,
maybe not.
Why not?
Some Molotovs.
Casually walking around London with 12 bore shotguns. Not committing a crime.
So the address that your what is the have we given a name to your detective? The detective that you're employing?
I did, but I can't remember.
No,
it's written down. I've saved it on a piece of paper. Dead Staff Yates census. I found it. It's confusing though. Edward Barnes, because it's Edwards. Eddie Barnes.
Eddie Barnes.
Eddie Barnes or Ed Barnes. Make it easy.
Ed Barnes. Okay, so according to Barnes, Delia's mother lives at 120 Southbury Road at Pond's End, which is a suburb about 11 miles north of central London.
So nice. We're talking nice area, suburb.
It's not a bad area. It's kind of like a middle class area, maybe a lower middle class area. But yeah, it's not horrible by any means.
So we will
leafy suburb.
Taxi time. Proceed to the address. Or should we? Could call before, or should we just go?
No, I think.
Just go.
Just go.
Otherwise,
yeah.
If they're not in,
she knows we're coming as well. She'll scarp her.
Yeah, so we will make our way.
Okay.
Break in and wait for him to come home from the shops.
Yeah, we're sitting dark with shotguns across his lap.
Okay, so
Hope he ain't gone on holiday.
So, of course, although there's currently the weather has improved slightly, London is still in locked in the midst of this extreme winter. So it does take a while for first to get yourself a taxi, but also then for the cab to slowly make its way through London, probably having to make several detours till you finally, perhaps it probably even has to drop you off a short distance from the destination. Maybe can't actually reach, drop you off at the door. So maybe drops you within about a quarter mile.
I've got an injury. To help me. Got a bruised arse from falling over.
You know, I've just noticed Harry's last roll of last week and first roll of this week were exactly the same.
Oh, there.
That's got to be some sort of portent of doom.
Oh yes.
Since they were both
Wow.
96.
Yes, I see what you look. Yeah, I see it now. Yeah. Wow.
I'll be getting critical success next time I roll.
I like your optimism.
So you leave the cab behind and make your way trudge through the snowy, slushy streets of this suburb towards your destination. In the you can see this in the street. There's quite a few young children playing snowball fights, building snowmen, whatever, enjoying the weather, whereas most of the adults are enduring it. And you can hear a group of the children singing. Kind of sounds like a nursery rhyme at first.
Oh, good.
As you like sort of draw level with them, start passing, you can hear them, rejoice, rejoice. The stranger tells me that London will be reborn anew. Rejoice, rejoice. The stranger is coming to town. The star shall eat us whole.
Nice nursery rhyme.
That's a lovely one, isn't it? I don't remember that as one as a child.
No, I don't remember singing about that's going to eat me.
No, it's kind of odd.
Right, so they're kind of in mid-verse, and they get hit by a volley of snowballs from some of the other kids, and they all sort of like break off and like scatter, laughing, and just like commence hurling snowballs at each other.
Oh, very odd.
Yeah.
So, it only takes about a few minutes to get to the house that you're looking for. It's kind of typical of the area. It's sort of a largish front garden with a couple of apple trees in the front. Although it looks a little bit dilapidated. You can see there's the house front's in need of a bit of repair. But you can see there is definitely a light on in the house.
So,
how far is it from the street to like the front windows?
Not far. It's only maybe 10 feet from the front wall to the front door. So it's got quite small out front, but it's kind of got like it's bordered by a wall or a hedge, and it's got like kind of a wraparound garden.
You're not thinking of snowball in the window, are you, Gerald?
What, playing knock a door run?
Yeah.
No, let's just go to the front door and
let's just knock and
knock on the door like a normal person.
Let's play knock a door.
I don't need to snowball a window.
What's our story going to be?
Is Delia?
Hi, we're friends of Delia. We think she's like a massive loon.
No, we'll just say we're here to see Delia and see what the response is. So yeah, just go up to the front door.
Okay.
Maybe. Can anybody go round the back if there's a back door, just to make sure nobody slips out of the house?
I suspect Charles may be better at stopping people running away than me.
I'll go around the back.
I can deal with them with some harsh language, but I won't be chasing after anybody.
You can wave your stick at them.
You said lower middle class, so we're not talking. They won't have servants or anything like that.
Oh
will they?
no,
It's just
no.
It's like a family house.
Yeah.
So yeah, just go up to the front door and knock loudly.
Okay. Okay, so just almost immediately the door opens and there's a lady answers the door. She looks to be maybe in her late 60s. She's dressed as if she's you've caught her in the middle of housework, and she's got sort of grey. She's got curly hair that's shot through with a lot of grey. It looks like it might have been, like sort of a brunette originally. And she's got this really sort of tired, haggard look.
You say late 60s?
Yes. She certainly looks in her late 60s, whether she is or not.
So, good afternoon. Is it possible to speak to Delia?
And who might you be?
I'm Dr. Bancroft, and this is my friend Gerald Black.
Right. She looks you both over briefly and says, "Oh, and what is it you want in Delia?"
I'm involved in a case, a medical case relating to an acquaintance of Delia, and I just need some information from her to help with the investigation. It's somebody that she was involved with a few years ago, and I'll say the name Alexander. Surname somebody I forgot. It's been a week. What's the surname? Alexander
Roby.
Roby. That's the guy. Is she in?
I'm afraid Delia doesn't live here anymore. It's been a long time since she hung around with Alexander Roby.
Oh.
So she does. How many years are we talking?
Well, she got married last year.
She's married.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Oh. Would it be possible to have her new address to contact her? It's quite important.
You can make maybe a credit rating or a persuade roll, whichever you prefer.
Whichever's best. Persuade. They're both the same, so we will go with persuade and fail. Successful.
Yep, no success. She's living over in Enfield at the moment.
And what's
not a million miles away then?
So what's her new surname?
Morrison. Morrison.
So not like one of the names we know already.
No.
The address she gives you is 10 Turkey Street.
Turkey.
So Enfield, you're perhaps familiar with, one or more of you is perhaps familiar with it. It's about a mile, small place about a mile north of Greater London, in the county of Middlesex.
Just out of interest, Mrs. Hartson, Your daughter, what was the reason for her breaking up with Alexander? What was the reason she gave you?
Well, she didn't tell me all the details, but she said his behaviour was becoming erratic, and he was starting to make her feel nervous.
I know they had a shared interest in the occult.
Dealer had all sorts of fads and weird interests that I didn't pay much attention to it myself.
I won't keep you at the door for much longer in the cold. Don't ask again in for a drink or anything. But do you know? Did these two names mean? Have you heard these names before from Delia? So the surname Edwards was this a friend of Alexander's? Would you might have heard this?
No, I'm not familiar with that name. I'm afraid. Sorry, no.
And the other one is somebody speak for me.
Malcolm Quarry.
No, she shakes her head again and says, "No, I'm sorry, I've not heard those names before. Delia certainly never mentioned them."
So I will say, well, thank you. You've been very helpful. So we'll now be able to contact your daughter and speak to her. Maybe she'll be able to help us.
Well, I hope so. And yeah, if that's everything, then I've got lots of work to do. I'm afraid. A house won't clean itself.
Yeah, most helpful. Thank you very much, Mom.
So she wishes you a good day and she closes the door.
So we'll whistle for Charles to come back at house. Yeah.
Just all right then. Just while they were talking,
breaking.
While they were talking to her,
Uh-huh.
I had a sneak peek through a window.
Okay.
Did I see anything?
No, which window you were looking through?
What is it on the back? Is it the kitchen?
So yeah, probably on the back there's a window looking into the kitchen, maybe a dining room.
Well, I'll look through them both because I'll have a quick look through them both.
Yeah, no problem. So it looks, the house is, she's obviously very house proud. The house is like spotless. It looks spotless. You can perhaps through the dining room window you can see some family photos. You can maybe just make out a photo which you presume shows Delia's mother and her husband, but there's a black ribbon of mourning around the photo frame.
Okay.
But other than that, you don't see anything of real interest or out of the ordinary. There doesn't seem to be anybody else in the house, from what you can see anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So once they whistle me around the background, I'll go down. Either there's an alleyway or a pathway that I'll walk around back to.
Okay, so as you're leaving, you can make a perception. Not perception, a spot hidden.
The spot hidden.
It's a wrong
Is this
game.
all of us or
all of you? Yeah. Why not?
Fail.
Oh. All right. So, Harry and Gerald, you maybe a glance black. Jesus Christ! You maybe a glance back briefly.
She watching us?
Yeah, you spot her like peering around the side of the curtains. When she sees you look back, she doesn't like sort of dart back, but she just like turns away and from the window.
She'll be straight on telephone to phone.
Do you know who's been round here?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, she could have just given us a false address and then front.
If she
Okay.
gives her a false address, we'll come back and strong arm her with shotguns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I presume we're going to have to travel back to a road that a taxi might come along.
Yes. So
and
it will have taken a while to get out here.
how far away is this Turkey Street then? Is it quite
Enfield.
away?
I'm not into for
It's not
some.
that
It's
far, I
no,
don't
no.
think.
It's only about a mile north of Greater London.
Right.
So you're in. So you're north 11. So you're on the 11 miles north of Central London. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's not too. It's probably quite close by actually. I mean, not walking distance, obviously, but.
No, we can't be walking in this weather.
So 11 miles.
It's
so it's probably taken.
1.7 miles.
Oh, very good.
No, it's not. It's not that far then, is it? It's just a case of getting
36-minute walk.
Yeah, you could
Maybe
walk if you
an
want.
hour
for Gerald.
blizzard conditions. Add another couple of hours on.
So
Yeah.
the taxi ride here is
Taxi.
probably took close to an hour to get here.
Yeah, let's or maybe horse.
Reindeer.
Probably
An omnibus.
more reliable than a car in this weather.
Yeah, that won't be interesting at all, would it? Seeing you all trying to ride horses.
I've got Rider 5.
Excellent.
All right, Lone Ranger.
So is that what you're doing? What you're doing? Heading out on foot?
No, well, see if we can get a taxi first.
Okay.
I don't fancy Harry's chances of staying upright, given
That'll only be a problem if you like point out somebody's following us and I
make you
turn and-
twirl around suddenly.
Yeah, and make me fall over. I'm fine otherwise.
I'll try and turn around. It was. So one of you can make. Whoever's going to try and get a cab. One of you can make a hard luck roll.
That'll be the person.
That would
with the
be
highest
me.
luck. Yes. Otherwise,
Taxi.
we're walking.
Hard.
Yeah, hard. Yeah, definitely a hard luck roll.
Half into.
Oh wow!
Oh,
Boom!
oh!
Yeah. So
There you go.
Just
My young apprentices is how one hires a taxi.
All
Three
right.
come along at once.
Yeah.
so yeah, you
One
just
I've got 3.
well, you tell
one
us. You tell us, Gerald. You tell us. You roll the luck roll.
I just lean out over the road, snap my fingers, and one comes around the corner. Obviously,
Magician.
Just comes careening down the snowy
Taxi!
street. Okay,
ask and it shall appear.
against all odds, you managed to find a taxi out in the snow-choked roads of suburbia.
Knew
And
Gerald had his uses.
and yeah, so a short cab ride takes you to 10 Turkey Street.
Double.
Give him a good tip, Harry.
Get another job.
Give him a good tip. Don't hang around with us.
Yeah. You're not that taxi driver that's been following me, are you?
Do you
I
own
think
a
with
log
that
black
sort of
coat?
luck roll,
Yeah. Paranoid.
Yeah.
it quite possibly is.
That's very odd, isn't it?
That's why he turned up so quickly, because he was only just round the corner.
Waiting,
Binoculars on us.
waiting for his chance.
Them three reprobates look like they need a taxi.
Okay. So this So Turkey Street, the house on Turkey Street is quite. Again, it's probably sort of maybe a middle class area, a little bit more well-to-do than where a mother lives on in Southbury Road. And it's a slightly bigger house. It's in much better condition. Looks quite new as well. There's a car parked on the driveway, and it looks like there's space for another car. And there's evidence of there's good evidence that was possibly on 2 cars.
Oh,
on one of the
fancy.
driveway.
Doing all right.
That is quite
Mm.
artsy fancy.
There's no children playing out in the streets singing nursery.
Either that or they're like drug dealers or something.
No, there's actually surprisingly surprisingly quiet on this street. There's no children playing in the street. It is probably a school day actually, so don't know. Well, schools could be closed. But yeah, it's surprisingly quiet here.
So, should we do the same as before?
Well, why not?
Back somebody cover. No, they're not going to run off, are they?
No.
No.
He said that.
Three strange men at the front door.
Yeah.
Hello.
So yeah, you can't get immediate access to the rear of the house. It's it's walled off and there's a gate.
No, right, okay.
We'll not do that.
Okay.
No, let's not do that.
We'll just
We're gonna kick front door down. So knock on door. Is there anybody there?
Remember, we've got shotguns to take the locks off.
Take the door off the lock.
Okay, right. So you knock on the door. As you wait in a couple of minutes, and then you see a curtain. You notice a curtain twitch in one of the upstairs windows, and then you can clearly hear somebody coming down the stairs and down the hallway, and the door opens a crack on the chain, on the security chain, and a
begging for it.
A quite attractive young woman answers, pokes her head through through the not through the gap, but peers through the gap. Let's see.
So it's Mrs. Morrison.
Wow, them eyes! Jesus Christ! Don't look at her. Don't look her in the eye.
Don't look in the eyes.
Which one?
I know, yeah.
Just focus on one eye. Don't focus on the
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure I've painted some models with eyes like that when I was like.
AI.
Wow.
It's just so ropey. I was messing about with some this morning. It's just shit. Some of it is just shit.
The face. Yeah, don't look at the eye.
It struggles with fingers.
Yeah.
You think she's good looking, then you look at her eyes.
It's half of her face covered by the door, so we don't.
So she's
all you can see is one eye.
Hello.
Glowing.
So yeah, she looks. It looks quite pretty. She's got bobbed, straight blonde hair. She's yes. Can I help you?
Hi, I'm Dr. Bancroft, and these are my associates, Charles Astor and Gerald Black.
Oh, you're the gentleman that turned up at my mother's house.
Yes.
And these just travel fast.
The same, yes.
Yes, my mother. I've just got off the phone with her a while ago.
So no doubt you know why we're here. We're here in regards to Alexander Roby.
Right. She takes the latch off and opens the door and kind of half leans out, looking up and down the street. Says yes. She's told me you were here to speak about Alexander. I
Maybe we
can't
come in?
talk. I can't. No, I can't talk here. There's a tea house in the middle of town. I'll meet you there in say half an hour.
Seems fair.
And she
Yeah,
closed just
how-
without really waiting for a full answer. She closes the door.
I'm presuming there's only one tea house.
It's not. Yeah, it's not
Just
like
wait there.
pre-Costa.
It's just like 50 of them.
Yeah,
What she forgot to say, it's about 5 miles away.
yeah.
She's
It's
got
only-
a car.
It's only open 11 while too.
And we could just wait in the car.
Yeah.
You can all make you can make I would say perception. It's spot hidden. You can make a spot hidden roll as well.
Can't do
Again.
a perception because it doesn't exist.
No.
I spot
Not in-
nothing.
Not
I'm
in
trans-
that
I'm
case.
Come on.
I'm trans-
Oh, I'm on a
sorry.
roll. It's fine.
Oh,
99.
Jesus. Oh,
Wow.
Harry. So Gerald.
Me and Gerald have been sucked in by them eyes.
Yeah, he's-
That is quite literally all I can see. Is
Yeah,
Sanity roll.
that's
Um,
it. Yeah.
So, Harry. So when she was closing the door, you noticed just below a right eye, about just above below right eye, and just above the cheekbone.
The
You
one that was
noticed-
pointing off in that direction.
Yeah.
there
What
was
looked-
another eye.
No
She
one
could
knows where she's
see
looking.
what looked like a bruise, but it was covered with makeup, covered up by makeup.
So someone's hit her and it's made her eye go funny.
He slapped her so hard to give stigmatism.
Oh, so she's got a bruise. Okay. I won't say anything to the other two. I'll keep that to myself
Okay.
for the time being. Just a little secret.
Very well. So,
We'll go to this tea house. Well, we've not eaten, have we? So we probably
Yeah.
get some
Some-
food,
Crumpets, muffins.
Nice scone.
some warm drink.
okay. So yeah,
How
you
old
head-
is this Delia?
Delia, she
Did you
looks
say-
to be in her early 30s. Late 20s, early 30s. So you easily find this tea house. You make your way into the centre of town and you find this tea house. It's quite busy, but you manage to get yourself a table in sort of one corner of the tea room, and you have plenty of time to like get a drink, get something to eat, to the point that you begin to think she's fobbed you off.
She stood us up.
And you may be getting to the point of considering leaving or leaving the tea house when you see the door opens and she comes in. She's like obviously dressed in a big winter coat, and she looks around, scans around the tea house and spots you. And then she doesn't like sort of acknowledge you. When she sees, she just like comes. She walks over and sits down at one of the chairs.
We will all stand, of course, for a lady coming to
The
the
Queen!
table.
Or the king at this point. On that point.
So, thank you for agreeing to meet us.
This is it.
Could-
You must excuse me. The subterfuge. It's the neighbourhood I live in. It wouldn't do to have neighbours see gentlemen callers invited into house.
No, that's totally understandable, my dear. It's fine, and we needed something to eat and a drink.
So very good of you to agree to talk to us.
That's okay. Anything to break up the monotony of the day to day, really.
So,
Well-
Enfield not the most exciting of places, then I take it.
No, not really. Not really.
So, how long have you been married? We've been trying to find you for a few days, and found it quite hard. But we didn't think about you being married.
Oh, just over a year. May of last year, we got married.
And how when was the last time you actually saw Alexander?
That would have been about mid-December 1925.
So that's what, 3 years ago?
Oh, I thought it. Oh, that's quite a while ago, isn't it? We actually saw him yesterday, and we visited him.
I
And
don't
the
want
first
I don't want to know about Alexander's.
the first thing he said before we even spoke to him, it was your name. He spoke your name out.
Really?
Yes. You must be playing on his mind or in his thoughts. What thoughts he has. He's not in a very good way. But
I mean no offense. If you're here to ask about Alexander, I'm happy to tell you tell you what I know about him. But I don't want to. I don't want to know about. I don't want to hear any news of him. I just don't
I
want to.
understand. His present condition is no concern. That's fine. We are interested in your association with him in the past, and if you're able to give us any information about the friends that he kept. So, firstly, can we ask why you parted ways? What you were quite an item at one point.
Well, for a while, it's we met. The the relationship didn't last that long, to be honest. We met in May of the same year. I used to have an interest in the occult. I used to read a lot of the major works in the field, and I used to attend lectures and the odd spiritualist meetings and the like. And just by chance, so it would have been about May, I believe, of 1925. At one of the lectures, I forget what the lecture was. I believe it was an ex associate of the Golden Dawn that was giving the lecture. But anyway, that's. But yes, just by chance, I met Alexander there, and I suppose because of our similar interests or passion, I suppose I would call it at that time. We kind of hit it off. And I admired Alexander for his talent as a poet. His the book that he published was exceptional, in fact.
I'll look at Gerald when she says that, since you're the book guy.
Oh. We didn't come across any books written by him, did we?
No, we did not.
Was it a self-published book?
It was a small. I believe it was a small publisher. Possibly self. I don't know the details. It has a German title though.
Was it in his name? It was. He didn't use.
Oh yes. It was in Alexander's name. Yes.
You have to look that one up, Gerald.
Sure, I'll have a copy somewhere.
under a table leg, no doubt.
Yeah.
But as I say, they just the passion of our mutual interest and my appreciation. I greatly admired Alexander's poetry. And I suppose I was smitten, and it wasn't long after that we became engaged. Like a bit of a whirlwind romance, I suppose. However, as I say, it wasn't. It was only a few months later that year that I broke off the engagement because Alexander's behaviour was just becoming increasingly strange. He was becoming more manic, overly excitable. And I just told him I just couldn't cope with his behaviour anymore. It was just too much. Too much.
What in regards to what? What was he getting excited about or overexcited?
Well, it's just I can't say it was about one particular. It's just his general demeanour. It wasn't it wasn't just his passion for that is our shared interest in the occult or his poetry. It was just this manic, excitable behaviour just seemed to be overtaking his personality. As I say, it was just too much. I just found it hard to bear, oppressive. So,
did you meet any of his friends? Were his friends of a like mind to him? Were they interested in the occult?
Well, Alexander did belong to a group of like-minded individuals. Some I suppose some kind of occultist group. Not anything that was advertised. It was kind of almost like a private. Not an I wouldn't even call it an organisation, but just a group of like-minded individuals, I suppose. He tried to get me to come and meet them on a few occasions, but I didn't. As I say, Alexander's behaviour was becoming even at that point, was becoming odd, and I got the sense. I don't know. There was something about how he how he described that. I had the sense that these people were somewhat disreputable.
Did you actually meet any of them?
No. Well, I met. Well, met is not the right word. I saw one of them once. So when Alexander had been to one of the meetings and I'd met him afterwards. There was a man called was it Coombs? Saw him once. Quite kind of a rough and tumble looking gentleman, dark hair. And Alexander said Coombs had a reputation for being violent.
You don't remember him mentioning somebody by the name of Edwards?
Oh yes. Edwards was one of the men in this group. Edwards, Bacon, and Quarry.
Oh, bingo!
I think.
What was the other name? Edwards, Quarry,
Bacon.
I believe Edwards was the leader of the group.
What about Bacon and Quarry?
Oh, well, I don't. As I say, I don't know anything particular about them.
Was that the group? Was it like a group of four then? Five.
Those are the names that Alexander mentioned. Whether there was more, the group had more members than that. As I say, I don't think it was a beta like a big group or some kind of publicly advertised organisation or anything like that. Like I say, just
a gathering of friends.
Yes, a group of like-minded individuals. As I say, those were the only real names he mentioned. Edwards, Bacon, Quarry, and that horrible looking man, Coombs.
And where did they meet? You say you went to
I
you
don't
met
know.
Alexander afterwards. Whereabouts did you meet Alexander afterwards?
I'd meet him in a coffee house.
But you don't know the location where they
No,
met.
I'm afraid not.
Hmm. Okay.
As I say, it was Alexander's behaviour was particularly notable after these meetings, so I tended to try and steer the conversation away from it to try and calm his demeanour. But
I don't suppose you kept any of his poetry, any of Alexander's poetry, did you? Or any of his anything to do with him? To be honest, anything that you kept as a keepsake, maybe?
I do still have a copy of De Von der Dutch Den See.
Yeah.
Mm. I'd be interested in taking a look on a professional level. Obviously, I'm an antiquarian and book purveyor
Well,
of rare books.
So that's actually Alexander's book of poetry.
yes.
The published. Oh right. Why has it got a German title? May I ask?
That I don't know. Some portions of the book are in German. Some are in English. Some are in German.
Great. I'm fluent in German.
I'd have to go back to the bookshop and get a
Yeah.
German to English dictionary.
And a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Uh,
With a very wide base.
so is she going to let us borrow the book? Or do you have to come back and steal
She
it?
seems a little reluctant.
Well, you don't want to do with him anymore.
So
don't
you
want
can
to
make.
do
So yeah,
what?
you can make a psychology. Well, anybody can make a psychology roll, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, let you do it because you asked me. Don't
I'll
count.
have it.
Charles, you on the ball.
Oh,
Gerald, not so much.
I could use 2 points of luck, but Charles is there.
That's all right.
already.
We're in there. I'll just maybe we borrow the book.
So, like I say, she seems reluctant to borrow it, to lend it to you. Sorry.
We'll look after it. We know how to look after books.
So, Charles, you get the impression that despite her not clearly and genuinely not wanting to open up communication with Alexander and seems to the point of not wanting to even hear any news about him, you get the impression that she still perhaps harbours some fond sort of feelings for him, but this book is obviously important to her. It's fond, it's has fond memories attached to it. So it's not likely to be something that she would give to just like hand over to anybody.
She's not going to get it back because it'll be ruined.
Don't know what you mean.
It's going to go
I
fall
know
down.
how to look after important books.
Gerald might be able to track down another copy now we know of it. Could we just?
Do I recognise the cover at all?
She hasn't got it with her.
I'm going to say I was just going to say, can we just have a look at it, see if there's any writing in it, what he's written in margins? But she's obviously not carrying it. We'll break in tonight and have a look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could let the shotguns ask her.
I'm presuming we haven't got the shotgun.
Did you meet his family at all?
Oh yes, on a few occasions. I always get the impression that they didn't think I was good enough for Alexander.
To be
Not,
fair, I don't
coming
think you can take that personally. I don't think they think anybody's good enough for anything. But it was actually his brother that first introduced us to the issue.
Oh, so you're speaking to Graham.
Well, he speaks to us. I guess it's quite pompous, but there you go. He's quite disapproving of the whole thing, but I know you don't want to talk about him, but they were talking of releasing him.
She looks a bit puzzled, releasing him, and then she says, "I don't want to know."
But yeah, I just wondered.
Really,
if
Mr. Black, I don't mean to be rude, but I just don't want to know. I don't want to get drawn into the madness of it all again.
If you'd met his family or had any knowledge of what happened that night.
She looks puzzled. I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about.
I take it she doesn't know what.
Yeah, so you get
about.
it seems clear that she's no idea about Alexander's current whereabouts and his condition, or even about the events that the murder of his father and his sister.
It seems a bit harsh to like tell her all about it and completely fuck up her day. Would you happen to know whereabouts we might be able to find Edward's Bacon and Quarry?
I don't. As I say, I've never.
Or where they used to meet.
Coombs.
No, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know where they used to meet.
So they seem to be. Everything does seem to hinge on them.
Do you know anyone who would know where we'd be able to find them, or anything that'd give us some sort of?
Alexander.
Yeah, he's not really an option for us.
Yeah. Memory not what it used to be.
Right, so the door opens to the tea house, but kind of opened quite sort of violently. That causes everybody in the tea room to look up, and you see a few people tuttering. Oh dear. And there's a man about average size, lightly beard and balding, with a florid complexion.
Does he look like a drinker?
Possibly.
That sort of florid.
Possibly. You would know that look well, I suppose.
Rude.
Let's see. I believe there is. Oh no, don't want that. So I think there's a token, some artwork for him. There is indeed.
He looks like a fine gentleman.
Right, he's Delia! What the hell's going on? Who are these men? Get over here right now! And she like sort of ducks her head like bows, and she becomes quite. She's like, I'm sorry, gentlemen. She gets up and hurries over. And as she approaches him, he leans in close, and you can see this kind of really sort of mean look on his face, and she's like just sort of can't hear what they're saying. They're speaking in whispered tones. She just like nods and they just leave.
See, I suspect we need to talk to him. Can I just like shout after it? Excuse me, sir.
You can maybe a fast talk then to get in, because like I say, he's in out.
I guess we'll all. Shout.
Oh wow!
Oh well, there you go. No one needs to shout up other
Right,
than
so
Gerald.
he likes.
My whispers just carry.
So he spins on the spot and like glares says, who the hell you think you are, like dallying with my wife?
Dallying. Oh.
Dallying. Over to the professional.
I'll fast talk him. Good evening, sir. My name is Charles. May I take your name?
Oh well, go on and make another fast talk roll then.
It's only Charles's top skill.
It's my name. I'm Delia's husband.
Yes, that's
an interesting name.
That's an interesting name. It's convenient that you married
Peter
Delia
Morrison, if you want, what it is to you.
Mr. Morrison. First name, Mr. Morrison?
Peter. Are you deaf?
No. Peter Morrison. Peter Morrison. Well, like I said, my name's Charles Astor. These are my friends here. We've got young Gerald, as you can see there, who shouted you over, and then our learned friend Harry over there, who's the
clinical psychologist.
That's it. Yeah, clinical psychologist. So we were speaking to Delia here just about some relations with an Alexander. Many, many years ago, and some of his acquaintances.
Says I don't give a damn. You don't have clandestine meetings with my wife.
I mean,
who the hell do you think you are?
Clandestine.
It's hardly clandestine in the middle of town in a busy tea room.
Did you ask my permission?
Well, you weren't there with respect.
Do you own the tea room?
Otherwise, we would have done.
Right, he turns and starts to walk out.
Well, if you know any Edwards, Quarry, or Bacon, then Peter, then we'd be delighted to know.
Says if you stay out my business, we'll be sorting this out outside.
Is Edwards, Quarry, or Bacon your business?
I don't give a shit about it. I don't even know what you're talking about. And like
exactly,
like customers in the.
Is Delia still in the tea room? Or she?
No, she's out. She's outside. She's looking more and more distraught as this conversation goes on. And the owner of the tea room says, "Gentlemen, please, this is a respectable establishment. If you must raise your voices, do it out in the street." Starts sort of shooing you out, trying to shoo you out the door.
Punch him, Harry.
What with?
Yeah.
Is there any, while they're engaging him in conversation, is there any way I can kind of get out of the tea room I need to ask her one more thing.
I'll distract him and
I'll do some rhythmic
move around. Move around that way so his back's to the door.
Oh wow!
While engaging him in conversation.
I will hypnotise him like his wife's eyes.
I'll be quite obsequious.
Oh well, I think it's gonna
tell
be.
Tell him what a marvellous beard he's
do some acting and intimidate him.
Yeah.
So
Do a
that's,
dance.
Come on, stick your fists up.
that is going to
get
have to
Polly.
be maybe a fast talk. If either Gerald or Charles can make another fast
Can I
talk
give
roll.
Charles a bonus dice?
Can you give him a bonus die?
We'll just have a bit of like wit and repartee between us, and
Very
like,
well.
bouncing backwards and forwards just to like distract him.
Very
So
well.
I'll talk to him. He'll talk to him.
Let me try my
We'll
fast.
just have a comedy double act.
Okay.
And we knock it out of the park. A high five, Gerald. It's
In
not been
front of him.
Yeah, we just
So-
invented that, by the way.
I'm sure it'll catch on.
Yeah.
So yeah, while Charles and Gerald badgering this Peter Morrison, you manage to slip past out into the street where dealers stood. Just please, you shouldn't agitate him. It's bad enough as it is.
I apologise. We meant no harm. The first thing I want to do, I want to give her my business card. If you need anything, just call me, and you don't have to put up. You don't have to put up with him. And I'll give her I'll like look at the bruise. I'll make sure she knows that I know she's been hit.
Okay.
So and I'll give her the card. And just one last thing. Do you have the first name? Do you remember the first name of Edwards? What was his first name? Can you remember?
Says no, she doesn't know the first names.
Just
Please,
the surname.
please, just let Peter go.
But if you need anything or you need help, just call me.
Right, she's
and
Peter,
I'll
come
do
on,
it.
please, let's go, please.
So I'll stand off to one side and
Right.
let Dickhead come out.
So yeah, he kind of like glares at you, or like doesn't like shove you, but sort of purposely brushes against you as he heads out and grabs hold of Delia's arm and just forcefully drags her down the street towards a car that's parked.
Mm.
What a charming gentleman.
Right, so the coffee shop owner, the tea room owner, they like sort of bustle you out the door and close the door, leaving you stood out on the cold street. People inside sort of craning the next round, watching you.
I semi fear for that lady's safety. I don't think either of you noticed before, but I think her husband beats her.
I would not be surprised.
Because she got a bruise just under one of her eyes. That one that were going off.
I'm surprised she even said. No wonder she's got a bruise. She's could have walked into anything. She'll have not seen anything.
Yeah, that's what it was.
No, you can't make assumptions like that. Anything in front of her, she's like a horse, so she can't see anything in front of her.
She walked into a door. Literally, she did walk into a door.
Yeah, she didn't see it.
She thought it were over there. So I can't believe you used that. So she's probably going to get beaten this evening by a lovely husband.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all your fault.
Oh, well.
So we've got some new names to follow up.
Yeah.
But
for Eddie or
Coombs. So he sounds
It's
nice.
a new one.
Nasty, hardbound, psycho. Bacon. There was no first name, was there? Just
No first names.
No.
Edwards, Bacon, Quarry, and
Coombs.
And there was mention of. Did you say she met Alexander? A talk about given by somebody from the Golden Dawn.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
That's like a major occult society.
Yeah, it was. It's like broken up. It fell apart during just before, around the time of the First World War. So there's like there's the splinter groups of it, but the actual proper group isn't Golden Dawn isn't a thing anymore.
I'm not. I don't know what we can do really now. We've only got one full name. Investigator is supposed to be looking into it, trying to track it.
So,
Any ideas?
what else do we know?
Oh, the book. The book. We can.
Book.
Do you want to track that poetry book down?
I can try and see if I can find a copy, although I'm not sure.
Would the library have a copy? Main library?
Probably not.
Probably sold like 5. That's why nobody's heard of it.
Yeah, I was going to say it'll be like a private publishing house. And I can try and find a copy.
Yeah.
Is it listed in any of my book guides or?
You can certainly do a bit of research and try and see if you can try and track a copy down.
I'll have a look under that wobbly leg at my table.
Sorry?
I'll have a look under the wobbly leg of my table where I keep all the best ones.
I mean, you've got your contacts and
have a quick ring round.
Personal knowledge and contacts and things. So yeah, you could go and do that. What's the rest of you want to do? I presume that means you're returning to London, are you?
Yeah, get back to civilization.
So about another hour's passed. So it's about quarter 3. So light. It's starting to. It's already overcast. So it's you're losing light quite rapidly. It's going to be. It'll be dark within an hour. So it's probably you can maybe start chasing. Well, depending on what time you get back, but it's probably going to take up something you have to do tomorrow, Gerald.
Right.
You can make some preliminary inquiries depending on what time you get back, but yeah, it'll probably take up most of this tomorrow. Most of it you're going to have to do tomorrow.
So can we get back home, or is there anywhere we can stay?
You can you'll be able to get back home. It's just a matter of how long it takes to get back. So you can make a luck roll. Why not?
Come on. Hang on.
See if
maybe
like this, lads.
Can work.
Maybe Morrison's will put us up.
Only one of you can roll for these, so I'm going to have to take the first one. Charles. So you do get a taxi, but it takes you end up trips.
I'll not push it. I'll push him.
In front of a taxi.
In front of a taxi. Yeah, that's how you summon a taxi, mate.
So yeah, you do eventually manage to get back, but it takes you a while. So it's gone 6, almost 7 o'clock by the time you get back to London, maybe to Gerald's bookshop.
Yeah, put the kettle on.
Okay. So you'll settle down for a hot drink.
Can we have a chat about what we know and what we don't know? And then possibly a clue.
We don't know anything. We just got a load of random names.
Give your investigator blokey a ring, see if he's got anywhere with.
I can try that.
Was it Malcolm Quarry? It's probably our best.
That was the only
best shot. Although it's possible if he finds one, he'll be able to find the others.
I mean, I wonder if any of those surnames are linked to this splinter group of the Golden Dawn, or might have been members of the Golden Dawn.
Yeah,
That's probably a thing to chase up, isn't it? Would there be a list of members for the Golden Dawn, or would it be secret?
It would be, yeah, it would be secret. They would kept it, yeah. It wouldn't have been publicly available. It would be, it would have been kept internally. I mean, there was such a different level. So they were like, it had a lot of members to a certain degree, but there were a lot of members who were kind of
dabbled.
Yeah, sort of amateur, just like passing interest, but they weren't like classed as like full members. They had like honorary membership, I suppose, for want of a better word. That didn't have the member attended and associated with the organisation, but they weren't privy to its inner workings or access to its resources and its headquarters, for want of a better word.
So we'll not follow that up then. I'll just try the Eddie
Brock.
I'll give Eddie a ring. Fucking useless with names. Can't remember his surname. Eddie Barnes.
Ed Barnes.
See if he's
okay. So it does tell it is made a little bit of progress. So he's not been able to find out anything about any of the names that you gave him. Sorry, but he has found out that somebody else has been asking had been asking about them.
Oh.
And he thinks he's pretty close to finding out who that was. Says he believes that Graham Roby employed another private detective.
All right.
Yeah.
So he's not been totally forthcoming, has he, from the off with us? He's kept stuff back because we did ask, had he got any friends? So he must know the names. That makes you wonder if he's been telling the whole truth. Was everything destroyed?
Yeah. Has he been? What else has he kept from us?
So yeah, I'm at a loss of what we can do. I could start writing my report up for Dr. Highsmith and break his heart. My decision hasn't changed. I'm not going to back him up. I think Alexander should stay in the asylum. I don't think he could function in another institution with less security. I already fear for him where he is anyway, because I think somebody's controlling him. And so in a place with even less security, I think he'd been probably in an even worse condition.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Okay. So, shall we... sorry, go on.
There's no, like, even if we went to public records or whatever, I suppose there'd be too many Coombs, Edwards, Quarries and Bacons for us to...
Oh, God, yeah.
We're not going to get through there in London, are we?
No, the one that's gonna is like the jackpot. If it's a proper name, is the Malcolm Quarry because it's a full name, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Edwards is the nurse. Because I think I don't know if he's maybe the boss, the teacher, but I don't know. Maybe he's not the teacher. Maybe that's why he needs Alexander because maybe Alexander's the teacher. That's why he wants him.
We need to go back there and just go, "Oi, Edwards!" See if he turns around. That's the traditional way of doing it.
I even thought about that when we first interviewed him. I was going to say thank you for joining us, Nurse Edwards. Just to game on the off foot straight away.
What about if we went back to
and interviewed him with a shotgun in his face?
Well, but we know because we know a bit more that we could do with asking Edwards when he's not at work. Because originally that's what we were going to do. We didn't do it because we couldn't find him.
I think that probably is the next course of action. If we can't turn anything up with this name in London, probably go back and have a chat.
Because, we need to find out if he knows who Edwards, Coombs, Bacon, Quarry, if who any of them are.
Well, if he is Edwards, he'll know them all because they all used to meet. So.
Yeah, exactly. But
what's happened with the book? Have we found the book? No,
not yet.
No, yeah, it's gonna take take a while, and you will require a few
Ain't
rolls.
your internet working?
Flaky at best.
Ugh.
So to discover it, you'll have to get in touch with your contacts, do a bit of digging and phoning around, speaking to people, and a bit of research yourself. So it will require a few rolls: an occult roll, a library use roll, and some luck.
Okay.
Oh,
in any particular order?
You can do them whichever order you want. You can make one of those rolls today. The rest will have to be done tomorrow.
Oh, we could stage a robbery at the Morrisons.
Yeah.
3 armed intruders beat the shit out of the husband.
I'm saying accidentally beat the shit out of him.
No, he ended up somehow with dodgy eyes and he's walked into everything.
No, we proper do some work on him and then steal a few items and just steal the book at the same time.
Is this Dr. Bancroft's method of therapy?
I'm just jesting.
It's just role playing it out.
Just give him a bit of his own
darkest
medicine.
fantasies.
Let's beat the crap out of him.
Right, I'm going to make a luck roll today.
Okay.
Purely on the basis of I'm going to make my luck roll first in case I then need to use loads of luck to pass the other ones, thereby making my luck roll harder. You see, always thinking.
Yeah, there's logic. Oh, yeah.
There you go. One down.
One down. So maybe you turn up an old contact that you think could give you a good lead on a possible source of this book.
Awesome.
So beyond that, do you want to do anything else this today, or do you want to, or shall we pass to the next day?
Probably don't really want to be going out in the snow at night.
It's getting late as well, so it's gone. It's gone 7 o'clock by now. It's pitch black. It's freezing cold.
Home.
You're all huddled round a little stove in Gerald's back room.
Burning books to keep warm.
Yeah. Fair.
So,
No, I think Unless there's anybody else we can nag about.
Not at this time of night. So
Yeah.
no, we'll
Meet-
leave it till tomorrow.
Meet at Mrs. Miggins in the
Okay.
morning.
Pie shop.
Rightio. So you all return home to your various homes, wherever that may be.
Here.
Yes. So you probably just
Works
break
for
out
me.
the bottle of gin from behind the
Got it hidden inside
a book.
the book.
So
You would, wouldn't you?
you
It's a
would
massive
indeed.
book.
Why not? Just got to tap in it. So Charles, you return home and find that the door to your apartment has been forced open.
Ooh,
Oh,
interesting. I slowly push the door open.
Okay, right. The lights on in your room. In what? I don't know. What's your apartment like?
It's a small, dated apartment. There's furniture in that once probably held some value and looked nice. It's all a bit faded and a little bit like on the settee on the arms. It's a little bit worn on the settee where you've sat. There's a nice crease and things like that. Every you can
lived
tell
in.
Yes, it looked quality once. And,
A bit like your career.
Yeah. Imagine Charles's career in a meager, small apartment. There's some dirty dishes on the side and things like that. And yeah, there's a few pictures around and some posters from plays and things like that.
Is
Okay.
that plays that you wish you'd been in?
No, these are the ones I had been in.
Okay, so you look around your apartment, like just from go through it from top to bottom, and nothing is out of place. Nothing's missing. Nothing's been touched.
Hmm.
Is there any sign of it? So there's nothing's been touched, but is there any sign like kind of see that somebody's been in?
The only evidence of somebody being in is that the door's been forced. It's not been broken, but somebody's forced the door.
Yeah. Does it still lock?
It's still locked. Yeah. It's not like I said. They've just.
Yeah, it's not-
It's been
Okay.
obviously whoever's done it has some talent because they've like I said they've forced it open, but they've not not like not broke it open or anything.
So they wanted him to know that they've been in.
I was going to say, if they've got
Yeah.
talent, they must have wanted him.
They must have wanted to know that I'd been there.
It's more a statement that they know where he lives than anything else.
Yeah.
So if nothing's been taken, maybe he just doesn't have anything of value. But
Well, there is that. Have they tidied up the place?
Maybe it was the director of the play looking for his book.
Could be.
The Revenge of
Yeah.
Talbot Estes.
You've not had it long, have you? You've only had it a week.
No, it's only been a few days.
Mm.
So
Yeah, so I guess I'm aware of it. Then
Yeah.
I've checked around the entire house, well, flat, apartment, and don't notice anything. So I'm a
No.
bit disturbed about it. But
Yeah.
I just guess I'll go to bed and
nail the door shut.
yeah.
Okay. Right. So yeah, you maybe struggle to get to sleep. Maybe you maybe wake at every sound, every creak in your apartment, your apartment or the corridor outside. But you eventually just fall asleep from sheer exhaustion, and you all wake the next day. No terrible dreams. No surprise visitors in the night.
Okay. Result. Have to do that more often.
Okay, so it's snowing again outside.
Not ideal.
I've just got to.
Okay. So, Gerald, do you want to? Is Charles planning anything?
Well, I'm going to. First thing, I'm just going to chase up my contact and make another one of those rolls. See how.
Okay, so you can. You can choose which one. It's either the occult roll or the library use.
Let's go with the library use.
Okay. So yes, you believe. So you've. So you believe there's about four potential bookstores that specialize in occult texts that could be a possible source of this book.
He printed 4 copies, didn't he? That's what we're saying. Okay. Yeah. Well, I will check him out once they open up.
Okay. So is Charles doing anything today, or just gonna?
I'm going to repair my door.
Well, again, it's not It's not damaged. There's no.
Well, not damaged.
There's no.
Well, I'm going to bolster my
Okay.
door and sort it out. And
Maybe you could change the lock. You could get.
yeah, I'm going to change the locks and just sort of secure my home a little bit better. Because it's sort of it's worried me a bit.
I imagine so. Right. So, how about Dr. Bancroft? Is Dr. Bancroft doing anything today?
2 secs.
We're just going to meet. We arranged to meet, haven't we? Yeah, I'll nothing planned, so I'll just go and meet at the time we agreed.
Okay. So I'm meeting up at Gerald's shop. No, the pie. Mrs. Miggins, was it?
We've gone to the pie shop.
Yeah. Okay, so what about midday? Then you, Harry and Charles congregate at the pie shop. Gerald is absent.
Like normal. So, how does Charles look? Because he had a bit of a
tired and a bit dishevelled. That is he's not had a good night's sleep and he's been busy and worrying.
That's two nights in a row where you've not had very good sleep.
Yeah. So I'll tell you about the door.
Now that piques my interest because of somebody hanging around my property, and then obviously us being followed, and now somebody's entered your apartment when you've not been there.
Nobody's interested in me.
No.
Gerald, you can make your final roll.
Oh. So this is a cult.
Yes.
Come on. Oh. How much do we want this book?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Do we 11 points of luck want it?
Yeah.
What I'm asking you.
Yeah.
I'd best find this book, Phil.
Okay, so you're paying the luck, are you?
I'm paying the luck.
Oof.
Okay. Right. So
That'd be good.
you
Because
do.
no, there is no other copies in UK.
So you do manage to find a copy in the last of the bookstores that's suggested to you. It's kind of real seedy place. You're aware of the owner. You don't get on very well with him, and he charges you an exorbitant amount for the book.
What a bastard.
What you
Pay the man, Harry.
what you know is well over the odds.
Bargain.
So you're taking the book to meet the others.
Yeah. I'll be quite pleased with myself.
Okay. So maybe about half an hour more later than planned, Gerald finally arrives at your preferred meeting spot with a
I've got it. I've got it.
book, a small book about 6 inches by 4 inches, bound in all white cloth. So got a blank cover and blank spine.
The title is in German. Do we know what the
What
title
its
actually
translation
means?
is?
Yes, we do. What is it called?
The Glockenspiel,
The Wanderer by the Lake. So, it is in English and German, and according to the first page on the inside cover, it is written by A.R. Well, just initials A.R.
Partly.
In 1923, a Whitehall press, which Gerald, you know, is again, it's like a small
Is it,
private press. It's mainly part, like
it's
partly
like
self-funded.
self-published
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what do they call it? Yeah, I can't remember what the publishing is when you basically you pay people to publish stuff so you can say you've been published.
Yeah. So you imagine it's had quite a limited print run. So the title page, like I say, it gives the author's initials, the date, the press.
Does it say like one of 500 copies?
It does not say how many copies. No. It has a dedication to Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Suppression prepares for overflow.
Okay.
Right.
Does that name mean anything to us?
Samuel
Taylor Coleridge.
The Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
Because it's Samuel Taylor Coleridge.
Means nothing to me.
No?
But it means something to you.
Water everywhere, and all the boats did shrink.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, I don't read, so.
So it's
what's
a bit of research.
What's he famous for then? Poetry.
It's the Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
Yeah.
I've heard of the title, but I've no idea what.
It's the water everywhere and not a drop to drink. Albatross.
Find a summary for you. I'm sure Gerald could enlighten you. Summary
It's
of
basically bloke on his way to a wedding meets a guy who rabbits on about how he was a sailor.
Rime of the Ancient Mariner is about a man on a voyage by ship who, in one impulse and heinous act, changes the course of his life and death. The mariner faces a struggle over the crime he has committed, which I think he kills an albatross.
He killed an albatross, yeah.
I was more I wasn't bothered about that. It's not somebody.
No.
Oh God, no! He's long dead.
It's kind of like a horror author putting a dedication to
somebody that's
to Stephen King or something.
Influenced him writing poetry, right? I get.
Yeah. So the text is split into 2 halves, headed first act and second act, and describes the dreams of a man. It is written in the form of a case history, but probably can be read as an autobiographical, despite the absence of personal pronouns. There's no mention of studying a subject or of interviews with him. The text does not seem to be organized for dramatic effect or to be a resource, nor is it appear to be fiction or poetry or science. The dreams which are recounted in are written in German. The rest of the text is in English. But the dream... did you say somebody reads German?
No.
No. Okay, well, I will not reveal that bit of information at the moment.
Eddie Barnes does.
Is he?
Yeah, he fought in the war, army intelligence, and he had to speak German.
Off the cuff.
I suppose there's a good chance Gerald's got translation books in his bookshop. You could spend a good part of the day translating it if you want.
Bit of Google Translate.
Yep. If you want to do that, retire to Gerald's bookshop. You can do. I'll let you do that if you want to do that.
Seems like as good a use of a cold, snowy day as any.
Is that what you
Didn't
want to
we
do?
burn that book? We burnt that book last night trying to keep warm, didn't we?
Yeah.
Shall we say that's what you're doing then? Yeah.
Who, me? Or who's doing it?
Well, I don't know. You can if you could do it together, or do you want to go off and do different things?
No. I'm happy to try and translate it.
Okay. Right. So let's say you spend the next few hours doing that. It's not a lot. It's not a lot, but I think it's got how many pages has it got? 97 pages. So it probably does.
I was robbed.
It probably does take you all day and into the evening, actually.
Yeah.
It's only some of it that's in German as well. So.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
So, so the dreams, which are recounted in German, the rest of the text is in English. The dreams focus on a power that the man explores and slowly comes to know. The power was once on Earth and is essentially unknowable. It would view man and his accomplishments as we would view ants and an anthill. The dreamer usually refers to the power as the king, but twice early on uses the synonym Kaiwan, which is a name that Herriwell mentioned. And one other time, the unspeakable one. The writer absorbs pieces of knowledge through periods of intense dreaming, but is interspersed a period when he is denied dreams. Eventually, he visits a city, Carcosa, which opens up his senses even more. It is a place of beauty and contentment, although challenging to his perceptions. And I do have a handout which gives you a little bit of a bit more detail.
Oh, that makes me feel happier about spending my luck. I take it none of these dreams that are in this book bear any relationship to what any of our dreams that we've been having.
Oh well, I'll let you draw your own conclusions. Where are we handouts?
Well, this city sounds quite pleasant. Nothing untoward. So
might have to read some of the dreams to Charles, seeing as he's been the one most afflicted.
Let's make this available in the.
Oh, yet again another practically illegible font.
it looks good, but it's just you can't read it.
Shall I read it? I'll read it. It says, but where, who, or what is Hallie? In this reading, the texts, either by design or uncertainty, are obscure and even contradictory. In his dreams, contradictions were also...
I can't... Oh, for fuck's sake.
What?
The cat's just lying down on the keyboard.
In his dreams, contradictions were also rife, but he felt that Halley was the lake itself. The reader imagines that this is the first race to own dominion over this planet and that it will be the last. That is wrong thinking, but each must come to this conclusion on his own account. It is something one has to see for oneself, not be told. He knows his opinion will be derided or else provoke anger, so he does nothing to persuade. I share it for him here. The book concludes with, some would be disconcerted by the structure of this treatise, but it is for us to walk on the earth in Carcosa. That is the third act. That passage may or may not be written. And then this bit is translated from the German. Aid me, Kaiwan. I, a dreamer, seek a vision from red Aldebaran and black Halley. I make the sign. Then immediately following in English, and seeking the vision, he makes the yellow sign in front of him with his fist, such as I, standing before him, could read it plain enough to bespeak the end of the day.
I'm sure that's important in some way.
I think I have a bit of a more plain text.
Taiwan.
So there we go. I've got a more plain text one I can drop into chat for you.
So this is what the German book translates into?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good, yeah. So that's a skim of the book.
So who's this Kaiwan fella?
Sounds foreign.
Yeah. Probably from that Halley. Although I make the sign. Is that
The yellow sign.
yeah, that guy had on his chest that everything seems to keep coming back to. They're all as mad as each other, aren't they?
It's the last paragraph. He makes the yellow sign.
Maybe we should be wandering around making the sign and see what happens. See if anybody recognises it.
So I'll add a plain text version to that handout as well. So there you go. There's a plain text version, a plain text version on that handout. So if you open that handout up and go and press on the text button on the bar, it'll give you a plain text version instead of the fancy image, which looks nice but is not very legible in places.
Yeah, cool.
Oh yeah, got it.
With his fist, such as I, standing before him. That Carcosa, is that not what that play was all about as well?
Yeah. And don't forget, you've got the transcript from the interview
What's
with
his face?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was banging on about the same thing.
Yeah, and there's the
That's what
last
I say. They're all as mad as each other.
and that has he quoted lines from the song, didn't he? 2 verses from the song. That was the last thing he said.
Was that nightmare what you had, Charles? Was there a lake in that?
Yes, I was on a boat on the lake.
Probably is concerning, worrying Harry now. All these things, people having dreams and visions that are linked to books and poetry, children singing nursery rhymes, strange.
Oh yeah, there was that. Yeah.
It's just mass delusion.
It's like the whole world's gone mad.
And there was of course the dream that they had in the hotel that nearly sent Charles over the edge as well, which was about a
Something in
city.
drinking water. There's something in water, isn't it?
Moon wine.
Oh, yeah.
So, what are we doing?
Well, we've now got Whitehall. It's probably not worth talking to Whitehall Press, is it? They'll just have taken the money and run.
Well, they've just printed it, and they've not necessarily read it.
If any of his circle of friends were writers or poets as well, maybe they might have wrote for the
Yeah,
public.
that's true. Actually, maybe they.
That's just a thought. But the other thing, what we could do is go and see Graham, Alexander's brother. If he's been digging after these people, why has he been doing that when he said he didn't know who they were?
Yeah.
I could butter him up by saying I don't think his brother should be released, which he doesn't want. So
yeah, that's true enough.
So he might be a bit more forthcoming with
put the squeeze on him a little bit. Or at least it's kind of his choice, really, isn't it? He can help us out by actually telling us what he knows, or if we can't get to the bottom of it, his brother might end up being released. It's kind of his decision.
I don't make the final decision. It's just I was being used to back Highsmith, wasn't I? So I weaken his case, but it doesn't mean that his case fails.
Don't undersell yourself.
Or the private eye said he was getting close, didn't he, to finding the name? One of the names.
Yeah.
Quarry. You could wait for that. I don't know. I'm not sure what else we can do. What time are we on now? Like lunchtime?
It's early evening. It's about 6. It's just past 6 in the evening.
Time flies when you're having fun. When you're trying.
I was just thinking that.
When you're translating German.
When you've got your head in a book.
Well,
yeah.
I think we're going to have to go back to Hereford. And then back to the asylum.
How long away is the court thing, the hearing?
It's the middle of November. I think it's about November 23rd. I think he said.
Oh, so it's a while away.
Yeah,
I
believe so.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
So
we've got a bit of time.
November 30th.
Probably maybe go and see the brother the following day. It's probably too late to go around now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I do some digging overnight in that case? In my more occulty books for if the name Kaiwan crops up anywhere. Because Aldebaran's a star.
It
I don't know
is.
what. Yeah, see if I can come across Kaiwan or Hallie in anything.
What did the children sing in that song? What did they say? The star. What did they? They said something about.
It was like the star will
Star will-
swallow us.
Star will swallow us all.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean it's not something that stars normally are known to do.
Didn't they say it was a black star? Or have I just made that up?
That was part of
No,
the lines from that
From what
that
we
song,
just looking.
from the song that was in the play and that Alexander quoted. It's in the transcript. From your interview with Alexander. I can't open. There you go. So yeah, the last part of it, it's the last thing he said. The stars that burn their charcoal death shrink back. They feel the hoary breath of he who ransoms great Carcosa. He flees where queen and prophet met, where twin suns fall but never met, escapes the tomb of lost Carcosa.
London's just going mad. Yeah, I'll see if I can dig up any info.
Okay. You can make a library use roll in your bookstore, I suppose.
Got all the books. Come on. It's a quality books shop. Can I make myself a cup of coffee and push it?
I think you need a better excuse for pushing that than that.
I might have to get some of my friends on the coast tomorrow. Clearly, my occult section is not as big and well stocked as I thought it was. I must have sold some. Yeah, I'll put the word out to some of my mates, not that guy from yesterday, robbing Rob Dog.
Okay. Right. So, do you want to do anything else this evening, or should we just cut to the next day?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to be most of my evening is looking at my three occult books
probably
by the
so.
sound of things.
What about what about Harry and Charles? Are you ligging
I think
it?
I think I'm going to retire until try and get a decent night's sleep until next day.
Okay.
Oh, you had to say that, didn't you?
So you're going back home then. You're not going to ask Harry if he can sleep at his place.
No.
Okay.
I suspect you're not going to get a decent night's sleep.
Yeah, probably not, but you can always hope. I'll pull out the bottle of brandy.
I'm presuming I've got a spare room, or maybe several spare rooms. So if you wanted to stay at mine,
I thank him for the offer, and I'll pass on that.
No, please stay at mine. I'm not scared.
Okay. So yeah, you leave Gerald to it, then part ways and return home.
If he's going home, I'm going to ring for a taxi. Just get him to drive past Harry's house 2 or 3 times.
Were you black coat on?
Yeah.
And then I get arrested for running out in the street with a shotgun and shooting an innocent taxi driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's your fault.
So Gerald, you can make while you're like sat up till the late hours,
Early hours.
early hours, yeah. You can make a listen roll.
Oh, good. No,
Okay.
I'm just
Yeah, I will not. I'm not going to let you push that because you're kind of not really aware of what it was.
no, I'm
Regards anyway.
too deep in my book.
So yeah, you finish late that night. You finish or early, like into the early hours of the morning. You finish your study, which been turned up nothing, and you go around the house checking, doing your routine, checking the doors are locked, locking up the shop, and
I probably will be more careful about making sure I'm locked up after
yes,
Charles's little.
and you notice maybe pulling the blinds or closing the shutters on the windows, and you notice running like it's sort of like you don't notice it. You don't register at first because the condensation running down your window is like blurred the image. But as you look closer, you see somebody has drawn in the condensation. You can see the like finger, still almost see the smear of the fingerprints. Somebody's drawn.
Cock.
I'm just going to say the same thing.
Yes, that was exactly it. Somebody's drawn the yellow sign upon your window.
Okay. Important question.
In yellow?
Is
in the
it?
snow.
Because that's
Have
probably
they
not
drawn
red.
it
Don't lick
on
it.
the inside or the outside?
It is on the outside.
Fucking kids.
Charles, you go to sleep.
We'll have a peaceful night's
And
sleep.
you stand amongst finely dressed people, talking and laughing. Your surroundings are gracious, and music plays, and your eyes are upon a particularly lovely girl here in white lace and muslin.
This is definitely a dream.
Yeah, I'm dreaming about her with wonky eyes.
One by one, men approach her, but after a brief moment, each quickly slips away, and you notice they look panicked and lost. When the last is gone, she raises her fan to her face and turns towards you. You walk over, and then your fingers are against the small of her back, guiding her in the dance. Her perfume fills the room, and now the two of you are alone in a gallery with glass doors all along one wall. You realize you've not seen her face, and suddenly you're afraid. A chill comes off her, and you shut your eyes tight. You feel a hand on your face, cold and questing, as you wake in the cold morning.
Another poor night's sleep.
Yes, it is another
Damn it.
poor night's sleep. So it is. So yes, you wake on the morning of the 3rd of November. Harry, you are downstairs breakfasting in the parlour when you're startled by the phone ringing.
I'll carry on eating breakfast. I'll answer it.
Okay, right. So at first there's no reply, and you can hear this kind of snuffling,
Is that you, Charles?
and then you hear a woman's voice. And it takes you a moment to realise it is Delia. Is that Mr. Bancroft?
Yes, this is Dr. Bancroft.
Doctor, can we meet?
Yes, of course. Where would you like to meet? I'll suggest somewhere that's
Yeah.
near
Okay.
to maybe.
She agrees. She agrees to that and says about midday.
Are you okay? Are you hurt?
So she puts the phone down.
Okay. Maybe she is.
It's a trap.
Hold on. When am I meeting? What
Midday.
time?
Midday.
Midday. All right. Okay.
Midday is always popular.
I'll phone the other two. I don't really want to go. I'm not the fighting kind of guy. I don't want my head splattering all over the pavement. So yeah, I'll phone Charles and Gerald up just to say that Mrs. Morrison has phoned and she was in a little bit of distress, but she wants to meet.
Okay, it's Charles. So when Harry phones, he interrupts when you come round late that morning, you feel a sudden creative flow. That you just like your head is buzzing with new ideas of interpretive dance and you just
monkey tennis.
and you just can't help but like having to like write down these ideas and before you while it's still fresh in your memory. And
I'm scribbling away then at my notepad and pen, and just I'm sat at the table thinking about it while he phones.
Okay. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so I've got the phone to my ear and I'm scribbling away and I'm like, hello.
I've said Mrs. Morrison. She wants us to meet her. The lady with the beautiful eyes from yesterday.
The one that walks in the doors.
Yeah. I'm concerned that her husband might have hurt her yesterday evening. She wouldn't say what she wanted to meet for though. What
did she say? Where?
Did she say where? Yes.
Yes,
she said where. But
you were
yeah, we arranged a place and we're meeting at midday. So I just don't want to go on my own in case the brute of a husband shows up.
Maybe excellent. Maybe I can sell her some of my ideas that I've been working on. See if she's interested. Yes. I'll be there.
Did you have a better night's sleep?
Night's sleep? No, terrible. But it's really got my creative juices flowing this morning.
You do sound better than you.
Yes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm tired, but I've just had a wonderful burst of ideas just come flooding into my head.
I'll be taking notes.
Yeah. In a
bipolar.
Yeah.
And Charles, you might want to check the backstory section of your character sheet as well.
Oh yeah.
So, and then I was going to phone Gerald, let Gerald know. Does Gerald tell me anything that happened last night about anything?
Yeah, I'll tell him that. Yet again, the world is just going completely bonkers. So we've had those kids singing that damn song. We've had that book. It's got to be kids from around our way drawing that bleeding yellow sign on the window last night.
Was it drawn with paint? Did we say?
No, it was like I could just see it in the condensation.
Oh, you mean
the rain outside?
You're not cleaning your windows. The windows are filthy, and somebody's scrolled on. Don't you think that's why would how would children know of the sign?
Well, they were singing them kids up in Enfield were singing that stupid song, weren't they?
Yeah, but that's a song. That's not this is somebody's drawn this.
Yeah, but they were singing exactly the same stupid song that Alex was banging on about.
You don't think it's you don't think it's
and there's those people like writing "The King is Coming" and all that cobblers on walls. It's all the same, isn't it?
We know we're being followed. You don't think it's the person that's or
Either that or
that
somebody's just trying to
intimidate
us.
Intimidate us.
Probably that nutter from yesterday.
I'm late to the meeting as well when we meet.
You know,
okay.
I lady's husband.
Well, are you gonna come and meet Mrs. Morrison?
Yeah, damn straight.
If that Peter Morrison shows up again,
I'll give him a piece of my mind. That's what I'll do.
So,
from behind Charles.
What? So we're just going to meet, see what she wants, and then probably we'll go and see Alexander. But before I step out and do anything, I'm going to go into my spare room and take out an hacksaw from my toolbox. I'm going to saw the barrel off my 12-bore shotgun.
Okay.
And I'm also going to reduce the stock down so it can fit into a medical bag.
Okay. Well,
I turned up late to the meeting, and when I turn up, I'm sort of fumbling in my pockets all the time. I'm always fumbling in my pockets.
Have I seen you do this before?
No. And it's like I'm patting my pockets all the time and just checking things. And every time I get up, I'm patting my pockets and just checking things.
Are you okay, Charles? Have you lost something?
No. Just making sure I've definitely got my keys. I've definitely got my keys, and I put them in. And you see me put them in my pocket, but sort of still pat my pocket and still sort of like keep checking every like real regular occurrences.
Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch,
and keys.
And keys.
Does this activity mean anything to me? Him rechecking stuff?
No,
going over.
I guess not. You just I'm from my dreams, and since I've been broken into, and I'm just always concerned. So I just want to make sure I've got I've got my keys.
What are your keys going to do for you? Your house key, car keys, house keys?
House keys.
Okay. I think everybody needs a drink.
Yeah. Love a drink, but as long as I've got my keys.
Okay, so you sit for some time at the arranged meeting spot, and Delia doesn't show.
Give it half an hour, still no show.
No,
I mean she's got form on this, so
yeah.
Should we give her an hour?
Yeah.
Could I? Oh, I don't. If I rang the house, he's probably going to pick up into.
Yeah, but if you phone it from here.
And just see if she picks up. But it could be like next to her listening. Could call round at the house. I'm not sure. So we'll give it an hour. At least give it an hour.
Okay, so you give it some time, and you're like trying, making small talk, trying to pass the time, and Harry, you happen to glance out the window, keep as you would, and you notice at one point somebody stood in a doorway across the street, and it's a woman, and it looks like it's Delia.
So is it just have we all seen her? Or is
No,
it
just you.
So I'll tell them that I think she's across the road. So I'll pick my medical bag up and I'll proceed to go across the road to see if it is her.
Okay, so you cross over the road, and she as you do, she beckons to you. And
Oh, that sounds dangerous.
That does sound dangerous. So where is she? In a shop doorway or alleyway?
kind of like a house doorway, like a porch. But as she beckons, she like steps to steps around to her like a side street.
I'm not stepping off the pavement. I'm in plain view, and I'm making sure that they can see me.
Yeah.
So do I see anybody else behind her hiding or
No.
Delia? Why don't you come across into the tea room?
So she can't. Well, you're not sure whether she can hear or not, but she just kind of beckons.
Get within so I can talk to her without shouting. Get a better look of her. It's definitely her.
It's definitely her. Yeah, she's got a hood pulled like low over her face, but it's definitely. She's when you get close, she says, "I didn't want to. I didn't want to go inside. I just want to speak to you, Dr. Bancroft."
What do you wish to speak to me about?
And she like retreats into this alleyway.
Is it a dark alleyway?
It is not a dark alleyway. No, it's just off the main. Alleyway is probably a bit of a stretch.
This is a second job.
I'm gonna. I'll proceed into the. I'll turn round so they can see me.
Yeah.
Like turning around, and then I'll proceed to walk into the alleyway. But I'm going to have a medical bag, and I'm going to open it and put my hand inside, and then I'll walk into the alleyway closer to her.
Right. So as you walk into the alleyway, she sort of flings herself at you.
And then I fire both barrels into her. Boom, boom.
Right, she sort of flings herself at you, and she does. Her hood drops back, and you can see she's got a massive black eye.
Oh my god, your eyes out of whack.
You've hit that door so hard it's not your eyes.
I didn't notice yesterday.
She's Dr. Bancroft. It's terrible. After we met the other day, he was just like a savage. He's never been as angry as that before.
I'll take my hand out of my medical bag so there's not an accidental discharge. So I'll console her and try and calm her down. I don't think it's probably. They've not got any children, have they? Did I see any evidence?
You didn't see
go in the house, did we?
Well, you didn't go in the house, no.
No. I'll just say I don't. He's an animal, isn't he? You can't go back there. Can you not? Could you not move back in with your mother?
Oh God, I can't go there. He knows. That's the first place he'd look.
If she probably wouldn't want to do this, but I will offer. I have spare rooms. You could, as a temporary measure, you could move into my apartments. just
Right,
so you.
She kind of looks up at you. She said, "You do that for me, Dr. Bancroft? I don't mean to. I don't mean to put upon you. But I don't.
I can't. Well,
I don't know where else
I
to go."
can't. I wouldn't sleep at night thinking that that animal would hit you again or hurt you again. So yeah, just as a temporary measure, you
Right,
could.
she says, "Oh, thank you," and she like sort of hugs you and sobs onto your shoulder.
I'm like old enough to be a dad.
I think
So she's not going to come back into the cast. So I'll just ask her to wait there while I just go back across the road to talk to
Okay, so
talk to my friends. So I'll tell them what's just happened. So I've offered to give a shelter at my house for a few days. Hopefully, the husband won't come round looking for her because he doesn't know where I live. So I think if we can all go back to mine and take her with us and settle her in, and then go and meet and go and have a talk to Alexander, maybe. We could take her to Alexander. I'm sure he'd love it. Love that.
I don't think she would.
She might not be very keen though.
No, I am joking. He didn't like it, did he? That's kind of awkward, isn't it? That's probably not a good idea, her going into my apartment, because if somebody's sniffing around our houses,
Yeah, if we're being followed,
shop, that might endanger her even more.
Who else?
Just as a temporary measure, probably okay. Maybe I could. I'll find somewhere I could put. I've got enough money. I could pay for her to stay in a hotel or something, couldn't I? That actually, I'll suggest that when we go back out to her, because
Yeah,
it's not
we
the
can
done thing, is it? I don't even know her, and it's not very respectable putting up a strange woman in
Okay,
your
so
house.
she seems.
And I am a gentleman.
She seems a little disappointed at that suggestion.
I bet she does. I bet she does. So, but no, I'll put her up in a nice hotel, just so she doesn't have to go back and confront her husband, and we'll arrange, if she doesn't want to go back to him properly, can arrange to go round to the house and pick some of her belongings up.
Okay.
And we'll go in force. So if he tries anything, Gerald will kick his ass.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to occupy me quite a bit, isn't it? Sorting her out.
Yeah.
But I presume it would give us enough time to go and see Alexander later on. Does the private investigator, has he? Well, I won't know because I'm not in house.
No.
I ain't not got my mobile on me.
No. So does Charles and Gerald want to do anything while Harry's playing nursemaid?
Well, I'm going to be trying to find out if anybody's got any intel on Hallie and Wyzam, Myzam, Kaizam, whatever. Kaiwan.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a bit more competent with my research.
Okay.
Charles. No, I guess for now then, while Harry's undertaking that, I'll assist. I'll assist Gerald.
Okay. So, I guess you can make a library use roll. Spend the day trying to find out.
Do I get anything for being assisted by
You
Charles?
can have a bonus dice, I guess, for being assisted by Charles.
He can keep the kettle on, if nothing else. Hey!
What was that? Oop, wrong screen.
Hard
Okay,
pass.
right. So, well, we'll come to that in a minute.
Notice that Charles's dice was a 90. Coffee's lukewarm.
So so Harry, you managed to settle Delia in a hotel. What kind of hotel are you going for? You know, medium price, an expensive one, or something just affordable?
No, an expensive one. Try and show off.
Okay. So yeah, it probably takes you up quite a sizable chunk of the day to settle her down. You can tell she's, from a professional point of view, you can tell she's really distraught, or conflicted, and it's not uncommon in people that are suffering from domestic abuse. So you probably, I assume you use your professional talents to help calm her down and talk to him, see if you can provide some assistance, or do you just abandon her in the hotel?
I'll invoice her later. Which is, no, yeah, I'll stay with her a bit, try and calm her down,
Okay.
settle her in. Just how long has he been beating her this way? Was it from the off when they got married, or?
So yeah, it seems like it's pretty much within the first few months of them being married. So
And he's got no connection whatsoever to Alexander.
No,
he
doesn't
didn't
even know him.
him. No.
So no, he beats. Well, the reason he gives for beating her is that he blames her for not providing him children.
And what does he do? What is he? What's his profession?
He is.
Because he has money, doesn't he? If they've got two cars.
He is. Where are we? He is a surveyor. He works as a surveyor on the canals for Middlesex County Council.
She doesn't work.
She does not. No. She does not. So.
Okay.
So after you've you manage to calm her down and placate her a little bit. She's feeling a bit better, and she says, she says that she was going to get in touch with you because there was something else that she remembered, but that's when Peter realised that that's what she was going to do. That's when it became like violent. So she says that when she broke off with Alexander, it was shortly before some kind of special meeting was going to take place, and Alexander was especially animated and excited and hyperactive about it. He said it was going to be unique, that their group was going to leave London and meet on a hill outside the hamlet of Clare Melford in Suffolk on the East Anglian Heights. This would have been, she thinks this would have been that late December of 1925. And she remembers Alexander mentioning 9 teeth that had been prepared for that winter night, and tried to encourage her to come with him, because said that she should come and see them to see their beauty.
Right.
And
You know what?
it was this last meeting that caused her to completely cut off all communication with him, because his manic behaviour was she just found it disturbing.
I mean, I'll like be listening, but inside I'll be going, ooh. No, wasn't in your dream, Charles? Didn't you dreamt about nine stones, didn't you?
Mm.
Ah.
Is this place what? Oh, I'd have to look it up on a map. So it was Claire.
Claire
can't read my
Melford.
own-
Claire
Melford.
Melford in Suffolk on the
I've got-
East Anglian Heights.
Yeah, East Sussex. Or Sussex East Anglian.
I'll put it into.
So is
the
that
chat.
that's inland? It's not coastal, is it?
No.
So I'm wondering if it's near a lake.
There you go. Claire Melford, Suffolk on the East Anglian Heights.
I've got Sussex, Suffolk. I can't spell.
So yeah, so this is late afternoon, early evening. It's by the time that she imparts this information to you.
So I'm going to impress her some more and open my wallet, and I'm going to give her lots of poundage. So she's got some money, so she can, I don't know, buy herself some clothes or something.
Something nice.
Something that, well, just so she's got some money, because she's basically got nothing on her, I would imagine. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'll fob her off, and then go and find my friends. But yeah, I'll just make sure she's like settled into the hotel. Anything she needs, yeah, just call me. But I'll say I'll not be around this evening. I've got to go and see somebody. I won't say who I'm going to go and see.
Okay. Okay.
So
yeah.
No, that's it. Oh.
Okay, so Gerald and Charles. So you spend quite some time in the libraries, and so yeah, and you come up with next to nothing. You maybe you like you try you speak to some of your contacts in some of the occult bookshops and places, and again, don't really come up with anything until you're walking back through one of the parks in London on your way back to the bookstore. It's getting late. The light it's dark. You got to walking through under the lights, the light of the street lamps, and the sky's clear, and the stars are shining bright in the night sky. And you come across a tramp sort of wandering sort of haphazardly along the path, sort of speaking to himself. He's going, yes, I hear you. Yes, of course, Lord Kaiwan.
Mm.
I'll go after him and go, excuse me, sir.
Right, he stops.
Did I hear you mention the Lord Kaiwan?
Says, are you him? Are you here for him?
I'm not him, but I would know more of him.
He's a lord who sits by the Lake Halley in the stars beyond Aldebaran.
Where? Where is Lake
He
Halley?
like just motions up towards the stars in the sky.
Up there?
Says, our Lord and Master is coming soon. Soon he will be here on Earth.
When? Tell me more.
So
Tell me
listen,
more, wise one.
listen. Lord Kaiwan will speak. Or you just need to listen.
Where did you hear this?
Right, and he sort of looks off and says, yes, master. And he just sort of wanders off into the park.
What a strange man. It's far too much of this random people singing songs about.
It
Lake
seems like
Valley.
everyone
Seems
knows
like
more
some
about
sort
it than
of
we do.
mass. I think. Yeah. Mass psychosis, I think, was the word Harry used. And I don't think he's wrong.
No, I am. I'm totally wrong.
But yes, everybody seems to know what's going on, apart from us.
Yeah.
Very rum-do.
So is Harry heading over to Gerald's shop, or?
I am, but as I'm doing that, I'm going to ask the GM.
The who?
This meeting that Delia spoke of Alexander and his friends at this Claire Melford. Did you say it was going to take place, or it did take place?
It was going to take place. She doesn't know whether it did or not.
But there was a date, and she split. Was that just before they split up?
That was the
things?
last time she saw him.
And then he, his father and his sister were murdered about a month later. Is that right? A month break.
It wasn't that much longer.
No, it weren't much longer afterwards. No.
I mean,
it was
obviously Harry doesn't.
It was next. It was almost a year later, October of the 1926. They were murdered.
Oh right. Okay. So he'd been separated from her for quite some time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all know they're trying to bring this city to Earth, aren't they? But there's a lake and there's those teeth monuments. So we've got a place where they've either tried to do it or they're going to try and do it. Maybe we need to look at that site, don't we? Maybe look it up on a map, see if there's a lake nearby.
Okay, so I presume you're going to meet the others, are you?
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. Arrange to meet back at the bookshop's probably the best place. Isn't it?
It is the hub of knowledge.
It is. It's the only knowledge we have.
If only it was a pie shop as well.
Well, there's plenty of coffee.
So, yeah, it'll be a taxi to the bookshop.
Okay. So, when Charles, when you and Gerald return to Gerald's bookshop, there is you're greeted by one of shop owners. Somebody owns a shop next door, and they're just shutting up. By the time you get there, it's gone 6 o'clock. And said, there was Mr. Black. There was somebody asking about you.
Oh.
Asking after you.
Who was it?
He didn't give his name. Tall, dark-haired. Well, he was asking if this was your shop.
Oh. Clearly, my reputation precedes me.
Well, that's what I hear.
From who? Tell me more. Yeah, please describe the man.
So it gives a description which matches the description of the person that was seen hanging around Harry's house.
Did he leave a card or anything?
No. When I told him that was it was your shop, he left.
We've got a stalker.
Yeah, clearly.
Said he had an appointment to keep.
Did he now?
Do we know what it looked like? Do you have
Um,
any description of him?
so well, it's
Tall, dark, stranger.
Tends to be a taxi
So
driver.
yeah, so it's tall, thin,
Hangs around in alleys.
sharp features, longish, greasy black hair, and wearing a cheap suit and with a big black overcoat. And he was smoking these horrible smelling roll-up cigarettes.
Could that be Coombs?
Did he? Well, Coombs looks like he's a bit of a aggressive, doesn't he? So he's got like a hard look about him.
So the guy says he looked a bit like a bit rough and tumble.
I wonder if that is Coombs doing the dirty work.
I think we should set a trap for him.
Yeah.
Use Gerald as bait. And capture him.
What, just start walking down dark alleys, that kind of thing?
We'll follow closely behind, and we'll just use you as bait.
Mm.
And then we'll overpower him, and Charles can tap dance on his head.
I'll get me nice steel-plated tap dancing shoes for him.
A bit of river dance.
That's
So what are you doing at when you meet up at Gerald's shop?
I will tell them what I have been told by Delia about this Claire Melford in Suffolk, East Anglia, and the 9 teeth, which could be from your dream. So if we find a map, maybe there's a lake nearby as well. Maybe it's all connected.
Although, funny story, after we completely failed to turn up any sort of leads at all yesterday,
We've got
we
loads
did
now.
bump into a random tramp who was muttering about the king, and I'll recount the exciting story of last night. Seems a bit... Oh, everybody, I think you mentioned mass psychosis, everybody seems to be talking about
It's the end of the
Taiwan
world.
And
everyone's going mad.
Yeah.
Apart
And
from
I know
us.
it's been a bit cold the last few days, but
Yeah.
But on the bright side, I've got a new girlfriend.
Oh. Hey, she's costing you a fortune in
She's
hotel bills.
emotionally damaged and she's been beaten, but
Hey,
she's,
beggars can't be choosers, can they?
with therapy from me, I can rebuild.
You'll be fine.
And
Just love at first sight.
I'll get her a new glass eye, and everything will be fine.
Yeah. There's some corrective lenses, and she'll be a right looker.
Some dark glasses.
Yeah.
Wow.
Had to get her 2 eye patches.
Yep. There's a reason why Harry's single and 53.
He's too picky. That's his problem.
So, are we now in evening?
It is
Or
evening,
afternoon.
yes. It is
Oh,
definitely
it's evening again.
It
And
is.
we didn't go to didn't go to
No.
Graham before because it was evening. What are you okay for a bit?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
So, should we go and pay him an evening visit?
Why not?
Yeah,
It's not like
I'll not be at work.
what's worse that can happen. He'll get police to turf his office property, but
Hmm.
oh, I don't want to be caught with a sort of shotgun in my medical bag.
No, just that
Let-
it has now entered the realms of illegal, I do believe.
Yes.
Let me.
No, I don't think it has. It's
No.
not. It's not illegal to own a shotgun, or you can. It's a shotgun. You can saw the. It's illegal to shoot somebody with it.
No,
Right.
I thought sawing off shotguns were illegal.
Yeah, in
Shotguns
19.
are legal.
No,
Sorry,
Not in-
shotguns are legal, but sawing off.
19. That doesn't come into law until like 1930 something,
Right, okay.
according to Wikipedia.
Must be true.
I'm going to be a lot more, or try and be a lot more aware of my surroundings without
Okay.
looking furtive.
Well, I will open my medical bag and show you both. I think it might be advisory to protect yourself, but maybe more legal avenues. Maybe that's something we should do. Go to police station, get a gun
Can
license.
Can I just show you something really cool? And I'll get my cane.
You've got
Turn
sword
the top and just.
As if you've never shown us that before.
What it is, it's just a vodka bottle. It's just a really long.
Really long, thin vodka bottle.
Yeah, you're like, well, let me just show you
Like
this.
a
It's
yard.
really
Drink
cool.
a yard of vodka.
Yeah.
So we're both tooled up. So Charles has got some keys apparently.
That's it.
Yeah.
Put
Keys
them in
in
your
between.
hand. Use
Yeah.
them. That's it. I'll tap dance them to death.
But yeah, I'm going to just be more aware, make sure nobody's following us.
Okay.
I mean, I think I don't actually fancy going back to my apartment. I might stay at the hotel tonight. In a separate room, of course.
In a joining room.
Yeah.
Is that a good idea, being so we don't want to draw attention to her?
Well, I'll make sure I'm not followed. I imagine my apartment's my place is a lot harder to break into because it's going to be like middle upper class, posh. It might
it's
even have a
like
doorman on it.
Probably like a townhouse, terrace townhouse.
It's not going to let any old riffraff in off street.
Or it could be an apartment.
Right, so
Up to you.
I don't know. So yeah, we're going to go and see Graham. We're not call ahead. Should we just go turn up?
Yeah, just go.
Just turn up.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of calling ahead and giving people opportunity to prepare for us.
Okay.
So we're going to get the snooty doorman, butler guy.
Okay.
At least
Right.
we've met him before.
So it is a little late when you get there.
Fine.
I'm going to press this. Hopefully, it's not going to advance the time forward. No, it didn't. So yeah. So say it's 7 o'clock when you get there.
That's
and
not too bad.
No, I suppose not.
We might be in time for supper.
After knocking on the door is of course answered by the butler. After
Oh, Jeeves.
So he it takes a moment, but he clearly recognises you. It's not like being. It's not been that long, is it, since you're here? So good evening, gentlemen. What can I do for you?
We were just passing, and we thought we'd just pop by, seeing as we were in the neighbourhood, and let
Graham
started with a G.
You're Gerald.
You're Gerald.
So I am.
Have you been drinking, sir?
Only the normal amount.
Yes, heavily.
Everybody's losing their minds.
Only the 3 bottles tonight. Let Graham know how we're getting on, and we've got a couple of things just to run past him if he's available anyway.
Yeah, we'd like to just give him an update after visiting his brother, and he'll like the news I have to give him.
Okay.
If that's possible.
So says, well, if you just step into the parlour a moment, I'll see if Mr. Roby is taking guests this evening.
I'll mix myself a drink.
I'll check my watch to see if it takes 30 minutes for him to see us again.
I say mix myself a drink. It's just straight whiskey, but
A whiskey chaser, a whiskey and a whiskey.
yeah.
So it's all you're only left waiting for about maybe 10 minutes.
That's better.
Oh,
And Graham Roby comes in, is still dressed in a suit. Says, gentlemen, this is a bit of an unusual hour for a visit. I trust it is important.
it's still early for us. We work late.
We would have come sooner, but we've been a little bit preoccupied. But we have good news. I was able to see your brother, and I've assessed him and his situation, and I have to concur with your opinion and Dr. Trollope. I don't think he should be moved to another institution. I don't think he's of sound mind, and I think he should actually stay where he is, or even move to a more secure location. I do believe there's some sort of outside influence that's trying to influence him, or maybe control him. It is quite odd. One of the orderlies, one of the nurses, seemed very. I think he's kind of controlling your brother. I think he may have known him previously, before the incident with your father. He might even be one of his close friends.
Really, this is all good news. It's Roby Alexander was always prone to fall in with the wrong crowd.
Well, we do have a few names. This is what we've been preoccupied with. We've been chasing up on a few names that we were able to garner from your brother, and one of them was somebody called Edwards. And in my mind, this may be the gentleman that's pretending to be a nurse at the asylum. And then I'll mention all the other names. What was it? Bacon, Quarry,
Edwards, and Combs.
Coombs, that's the other one, wasn't it? Was there another one? There's
four
or five, including Alexander. So I'll reel off all those names, and then I will just also mention that I do use a private investigator, and he's under the impression that you've hired a private investigator yourself, looking into the same gentleman, or some of the same gentlemen. Is this true, sir?
Well, yes, it is. Although that was some time ago. That was back in 1925 when I engaged Mr. Tuck's services.
And what this was just to check on your brother's friends.
I was trying to, indeed, yes, I was trying to find out about who these people were that my brother I'd been associating with.
And did he get back to you with any details of the?
These, yes, the names you've just mentioned certainly ring a bell.
We're only going on surnames. Do you have any like first names or where these people would have been if we can chase them up?
I don't recall, to be honest, Dr. Bancroft. It's as I say, it's been that was back in 1925. I can give you
The investigators'
I can give you
details.
the Detective Tuck's details if you'd be probably much better speaking to him.
Yes, that would be excellent. So yeah, well, I'll take those details if he's willing to give them.
If you'll give me a moment, I'm sure I should still have his card somewhere. And he disappears. Well, disappeared, but he goes off to find his business card.
So that's good. Can you think of anything else while he's not here?
No.
I could ask again if he had definitely destroyed everything. Leave that till last.
Yeah.
Then he can kick us out.
Okay, so he eventually it's probably a good half hour before he comes back, and he apologizes for taking so long. But he hands you slightly dog-eared business card that says Vincent Tuck, private detective, and it gives his address as Wapping, East London.
Okay. So before leaving, I'll tell him I'm going to write up the notes regarding his brother. So I'll give him a copy. I'll write up a second set of notes. I won't be putting my name to any paperwork that's going forwards from Highsmith, and I won't give any evidence. And if he wants me to, I'll do the opposite and side with him if he needs me to sign something, or he can use my written statement as evidence for his side.
Okay,
That
right.
his brother shouldn't be released.
Right. So yeah. So telling him this, it really warms you to him. Becomes
And it won't.
visible. I mean, he's still sort of pretty stiff upper lip and such. But he becomes is much more amiable. Even get a smile out of him.
I mean, and I won't charge you my full rate.
But yeah, he's very happy that you're going to support his claim that Alexander should, well, he's in his own words, should be left to rot.
And there's just one thing. You said you destroyed everything. We found out that your brother wrote a book of poetry.
Yes.
Did he have
by the lake or something or nonsense?
Did you have a Did he have a copy here?
I did.
Was
yes.
That
Dr. Trollope borrowed it briefly, and then I destroyed it along with the rest of his possessions.
So it's destroyed. Okay. I think that's it. I'm done.
Okay.
I can see a trip to the country beckoning.
Oh, I mentioned that location. Does that location mean anything to him?
It says.
Was it ever mentioned?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't know anything about that. No.
So, thank you for your time.
Right. Again, he enforces it. In fact, they'll appreciate if you keep him updated on how things are going.
I'll leave him my business card. I think I left him one before, didn't I? But I'll leave him
Possibly.
another.
Possibly
Signed book, I think it was before.
So he wants to know if you can call you a cab to take you to your place of residence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saves Gerald having to throw me in front of one.
And yeah, rolling in luck again.
Okay. So yeah, it takes a while for the cab to arrive, but Graham entertains you in his own way. Make sure you provides you with a bit with a bit of
Whiskey.
food and some drink. Until a taxi finally arrives, maybe about an hour later. So by which time it is it's after almost half past 8 in the evening.
So, is everybody going back to their own places?
I'm just thinking it might be better
Why
to stay together.
Well, why don't we could all go back to the hotel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. What, the same one where Delia is staying, or a different one?
Yeah, we
same
don't have to. I don't even have to tell her that we're in the hotel. If it's a big posh hotel, we can be on a different different floor, can't we?
Okay. Right. Okay. So you go and take a room, a sharing room, or separate rooms, or
Well, I guess it's up to Harry.
Yeah.
He's paying.
I think they can share. I'll have my own.
Okay. Very well. So I presume you take food and drink that evening before retiring.
Yeah.
You settle down for a nice, comfortable night in excellent beds, nice warm rooms, and
Good luck, Charles.
Gerald,
Oh.
you
Hello.
are hunting scrub, gorse, heather, and granite spread out to the horizon. You remember the story of a man lost on these moors. As the sun fell and he had resigned himself to sleeping out in the cold, he came across a lovely girl who was out hunting with falcons. She spoke Old Breton. He went with her to her manor house and quickly fell in love with her. In the morning, as he sat with her in the garden, he was bitten by a viper. He swooned, and when he awoke, all that was there was her grave. It said she died in her youth 100 years ago for the love of a man of his name. In your mind's eye, you can see the images from this tale: the pale triangle of her face, the ivied stone of her grave, and her falconer, Hastur. You see him too, and wish you did not, for you know what he heralds. As in the story, the light is almost gone, and you settle down on your haunches, knowing you must spend the night out here. You watch as the sun goes out like a snuffed candle and the world changes to pitch black. You lie down to sleep, but just as you are drifting off, you hear the bells. And you awake to the sound of bells.
That's the first alien name I've heard of.
So,
what does he herald? If I know what he heralds,
you don't remember that.
Can't blame a man for trying.
So you're woken perhaps by a knock on the door as a bellboy brings the morning paper and leaves a breakfast tray, a trolley outside your rooms. And as you eat your morning breakfast, so pour a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and eat some toast, and look over the headlines of the morning paper, you stop as this story catches your eye.
Dum dum dum.
Fatal stabbing in St James's Park. 2 men sought.
Oh.
A gentleman was attacked and killed in St James's Park last night at shortly after 6 o'clock in the evening. The deceased was identified as Dr. Lionel F. Trollope of 126 Long Acre, WC2.
Oh.
A newspaper boy saw the attack as it was taking place. The attacker, a tall man in a long dark coat, fled out
Your
of the
mate.
park onto the mall, where he may have been joined by a smaller, stout man before running off towards Waterloo Place. A brown leather bootlace was found in the dead man's hand, which police think may have been taken from the attacker in a struggle. The motive for the assault appears to be robbery. Dr. Trollope ran an established medical practice at 3132 Bedford Place, Bloomsbury, WC1. He was 60 years old, with grey hair and a moustache, and was dressed smartly in a 3/4 length dark herringbone patterned coat, black hat, white gloves, and cane. Police are anxious to speak to anyone who was in the St James Park or surrounding areas at around 6 o'clock and may have seen either Dr. Trollope or persons matching the descriptions given above. They are asked to contact Scotland Yard and request to speak to Detective Inspector Taylor.
Oh, I'm going to phone police. I presume Charles and Gerald matched the description, and they were in a park, were they not?
Yeah.
What a dick.
Convenient.
So I shall add that to your handouts.
Which one of you is tall and which one of you is stout?
I don't do no running, me though.
So, oh dear. So that's the guy that's been following, isn't it? The tall
Yeah.
guy.
Mm.
So he's done away with Dr. Trollope.
So it's the morning of the 4th of November.
So why have they done that? Of course, why they've done that? Because he's trying to stop him from being released, so they bumped him off. Oh dear.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
But the 2 of them, though, not just one.
Mm. So the orderly and his mate.
How would you describe Edwards? Was he stout? Would you describe him as stout?
Edwards? You've not met anybody called Edwards.
Not Edwards.
Evans.
Evans. Evans. That's not Edwards. Who is Edwards?
Evans. Let me see. Where is Evans?
I don't think
Medium
you described
height,
him as
with brown hair, clean shaven. Yeah.
That'd be easy to check if he's not been at work and he's come to London. But no, it's probably just some lackey. Does that mean that I probably will have to go to this hearing now to try and get him to stay in the asylum? Well, we were going to go back anyway, weren't we?
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Well,
Although I do feel that we might be under some sort of threat. So the guy isn't just after information on us; he's actively killing people now.
Well, I presume if he wanted us dead, he could have nobbled one of us. Or I suppose it's because we weren't going to the hearing, were we? Dr. Trollope was kind of the opposite of Highsmith, wasn't he? So they've done away with him. We could go to the police and could say that we think the same person that's murdered Trollope has been following us.
But the thing is, though, we've got no evidence. We've got no proof.
No.
So all they're going to say is, "Well, where's your proof?"
Prove it.
And we can't. Everything we can go to the police with is speculation.
We never went to the police where the asylum is, but we could go to the police in London and draw the connection between the murder in London and the murder that happened at the asylum, and get them to coordinate with the other police force and do a proper check on Evans.
Are they there? Would they?
I don't know. It's still an open case, isn't it? And somebody's just been murdered, a high up doctor. So I presume they would want to look into it. Plus, we've got banker Graham on our side, so he could influence it.
Yeah, he can
pull some strings. And plus, it's his family doctor that's been murdered, isn't it? So,
yeah, he might be able to give us a bit more oomph.
So, are we going to stop there?
It's probably a reasonable spot to leave it.
It's 11. I mean, I'm all right, but you want to stop there?
We can stop there.
Yeah.
Seems like a convenient place.
Well,
nice.
Do we want to draw attention to ourselves?
The thing is,
more than we have already.
Well, that's the thing. If we go, do we give them someone to look at that? It's like, well, hang on a minute, why are you coming to tell us this? Are we better off not? While we're not guilty, what's the point of shining the torch on it?
Maybe let's go back to the asylum. Well, not to the asylum. Let's go to the. Let's go and have a chat with our friend.
I think we should try and find him.
Have an off-the-record chat.
Yeah, because then
possibly with shotguns.
Well, he must be the one that's told the people in London to come and follow us. So yeah, let's go and have a word.
Because we think now that he's got a greater hand in it than what we originally suspected. So I think going there, Evans really is the key at the moment. I think he's his best lead we've got. Yeah.
But before we go, I want to check out some maps to check out that area where they've been to before. That might even be worth paying a visit to go and have a look at those 9 teeth.
Yeah.
And see if there's anything weird.
But yeah, I think we should. I think Evans is the key.
Or at least there's somebody in the asylum.
Yeah. Like someone in the asylum is playing a bigger part than they've let on.
Yeah.
See,
if it's not Evans, I think he'll
if it was
key to finding out who it is.
I don't think it's the doctor because
I don't think
he's got access to him already. So why would he? Doesn't need anything to change, does he? He can do whatever he wants.
And why would he get us involved? Because that would only do him harm.
So tall guy is Coombs. So the other guy, it could be somebody called Bacon, or he could be
Quarry.
But I think Quarry. How Alexander spoke did he say has?
They've had a bit of a.
Yeah, I don't think they're together. Are you with Quarry? So
Edwards and Quarry, I think, are two different parties, opposing parties.
Yeah, because Alexander was starting to think that he'd backed the wrong horse, wasn't he? Basically.
Yeah.
But they were friends, weren't they?
They were friends, and then had some sort of.
They've had a run-in.
So maybe whatever they were trying to do in 1925 didn't work, and maybe maybe this fell out over that or something.
Or maybe what they were trying to do in 1925 did work.
Yeah.
That might have been what sent Alexander a bit full on loopy
Mm.
and made him the teacher.
And one of those two is regretting what they were up to, or has like tried to pull out of the deal. I'm just not sure whether it's. I assume it's the other one, not the one that Alexander was still in with.
And before we do go to the asylum, we need to check up with that private investigator to see what
Yeah.
he knows, because there might be something we can still do in London.
Or have they tried to use Alexander as like some sort of vessel?
And that's why they still want him, want to use him.
Yeah. So has he been like a conduit or a vessel, or does he, or it may be that they've done something. It's drove Alexander mad, but he's got the key that that both these parties need. Alexander's
He
the
knows
key.
something.
He knows something, or is there something in his head that they need?
That's why they're still around him or messing about with him. Yeah.
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 That's why they've bumped off the Doctor, because the Doctor's obviously not playing ball, really, on there. You know, the Doctor's a barrier. So
Yeah.
something along them lines. I think, Alexander's key, but there's multiple. Maybe there could be more than one party in, even in Asylum. That.
Yeah, that's trying to get to him.
Yeah, but then what does Harrywell? I know he's obviously his deemed.
Or has he just been driven even more loopy because he's heard Alex
and this is it. What's
ranting on?
What's Harrywell's? Because he obviously knows. He's obviously knows something about it because he's been vocal about it, and he's told us things that we've heard from other people or other places.
Yeah, that confuses me. That the hole in the wall. What was?
But
he had
he's had pencils, and has he written or drawn things and on paper and rolled it up? And if it's only like a pencil size, has he pushed, rather than pushing a pencil through, has he written on notes, rolled them up tight and pushed them through, and pushed them through the hole,
and then eating them after he's read them?
Maybe so. Did they have a toilet in the room?
No, it might have a well, they might have a commode or a bucket, but yeah, not a proper toilet. No.
So it could have gone in bucket. But I think Evans, we need to go back to and speak to Evans, because he's the biggest lead that we've got.
Yeah.
Now that we know, we've heard obviously about the teacher. Evans has been the one in the room with him. So maybe we go to Evans, and rather than asking him questions, we make some sort of targeted accusations, such as, we know what you're up to. We know about the teacher,
Mr. Edwards.
Yeah. And we know about Coombs. And actually, with Coombs, Bacon, Macquarie, and Alexander, we know they were part of a group. So we know they were all originally like friends in a small group. So there's certain assumptions we can make there.
Maybe we take that newspaper clipping and just go, friends of yours? See if he recognises the description of the tall guy, stout guy.
Yeah.
And what if he says no?
Well, he will say no.
Yeah, and
But
then
that's where your
and then what?
ability to spot a lie.
But then that's where I mean that's where we need to obviously use the fact that Coombs. The thing is, who murdered that? One of them people I would suspect is Coombs, because that Delilah said that Coombs had like a penchant for violence, didn't she?
Yeah.
He appeared a
Yeah.
violent man, short-tempered, and things like that, who will do harm. So, there's no reason to say why Coombs.
It does sound like he's the one that's been like hanging around your gaff, my gaff. And to be fair, if Edwards and them have had a falling out, he might actually want to help us.
That's if they've had a falling out. We're presuming they've had a falling out. But we're only assuming that they've had a falling out because they've said, "Oh, are you with Edwards or are you with Quarry?"
Mm.
I just rereading it. I was wondering if they both attacked the Doctor. They didn't, did they? It was just one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other one joined him and legged it. Maybe it was just look out.
Maybe he's followed him. He knows where he is, and they've obviously got one to follow him, and then one to actually do the heavy lifting as such.
So we're looking for somebody with a missing shoelace. What's a strange thing to
I'm not sure
grab.
What is the availability of shoelaces in the 1920s?
No, would he be on the floor and then
You
grab
can make
it as he's on the floor?
You can make an intelligence.
Was he trying to strangle him before he?
You can make an idea roll.
Could have tried strangling him. A garrot.
That's power, isn't it?
Intelligence. I've got loads of that.
Oh, is it intelligence?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on 4.
Well, there you go.
Okay, so it implies that as he was attacked, like pulled something from around his neck. So
like a pendant, or.
Yeah.
But obviously, whatever was attached to it has probably got lost.
Maybe. Oh, we'll never find it. It'll be in the snow.
Well, we do have leads though now.
Yeah, and I think best thing to do is pressure Evans. And sort of put the screw. And if we can get him away from the hospital on his own, either at his, something like that.
I think there's loads of things happening now, isn't there? Because Graham will probably contact us after he finds out of
about the Doctor.
Yeah. So there's lots of things happening next session.
Yeah. Yeah. We've definitely got things to look at.
Yeah.
So sort your shotguns out.
That's it. Get them sorted out.
I know we're going hunting again. You need the barrels.
Oh, okay.
Quick, stick them back on.
No, I've got a pump action as well, so I'm all right.
What year was gaffer tape invented?
Bit of welding. Weld barrels back on.
Yeah.
So let's end it there.
Yeah.